Good evening, my friend, and welcome to the XCAL Racing League 400 like on Facebook super event from the Michigan Super Speedway, live here from the Irish Hills. My name is PDJ Zeller, and you're listening to Telesign TV. As always, working the cameras, our great cameraman, Tanner Kalin, making the magic happen back there. We're getting ready for 100 laps around the Michigan Super Speedway with these street stocks today. There's $325 in purse money. Each position gets paid, and each position pays better than the one before. So you want to finish as high as possible as any race, but this one a little bit extra incentive because the winner tonight could be walking home with well over $90, which is not too shabby for a race that is completely free to enter. We'll also be having an in-car reporter today with Paul Coleman Jr. I'm going to try to key him up during the gridding segment. First, we're going to get through the grid and everything, though. Some early notes from this one. 43 were scheduled to take the green flag. We only have 38 in the server as we sit right now, so and I should say only, that's a majority of the guys right there, but 38 out of 43, that's not too bad. Looks like we're going to have 38 take the green flag as there's about 20 seconds left in practice. And lots of exciting things going on for XCAL. XCAL Racing today actually had a big discussion before this race with some of their drivers about the future directions of the organization. Lots of excitement stirring about that conversation. Lots of guys antsy to get out there for the next step. But it all starts today from the Irish Hills in Michigan as we are looking to take the next step in this race and put on a good event. So here we go. I am going to take you through the starting grid as we get ready for this one to get underway. And it will probably be available to me in 1 second. And here we go. The starting grid is finally shown to me. Starting on pole position in the number 12 car will be Kenny Tripp. On his outside, in the number 74 will be Rafael Semperuch. In third, in the number 99 will be Tyler McRae. In fourth, in the number 19 will be Stephen Baird. In fifth, in the number 22 will be Carlos Ruiz. In sixth, in the 84 will be Ryan Soper. In seventh, in the number 66 will be John Kraft. In eighth, in the number 86 will be Jeremy Leto. In ninth, in the number 5 will be Derek Colson. And in 10th, in the number 3 will be Aiden McConaughey. In 11th, in the number 20 will be Jose Godino. And in 12th, in the number 15 is Nick Ludige. In 13th, in the number 3 is Larry Orn. In 14th, in the number 34 is Angelo Espo. In 15th, the number 16 is Diego Romero Ruiz, and in 16th is the number 53 of Tyler Batchelder. In 17th is the 222 of Dennis Wilder Jr., and in 18th is the number 8 of James N. Bazin. In 19th is the 062 of Johnny B., and in 20th is Alex Gangler. In 21st is John Schwartz in the 24, and in 22nd is the 36 of Aquinas LaBeouf. In 23rd is the 48 of Octavio Rondoletto. In 24th is the 25 of Bruce Helmuth. In 25th is the number 38, our in-car reporter today, of Paul Coleman Jr. And in 26th is Brad Glogly. 27th is Noah Carpenter in the 42. And 28th is Herbert Thomas in the number 28. Timothy Skillman in 29th, and Ron Walters is in 30th. 31st is Andrew Ford, 32nd Jonathan Langham, 33rd Arthur Hendren, 34th Pedro Jose Luis Buenos, 35th Jeff Edgar, 36th Jay DeBook, 37th Darren Snyder, and rounding out the field in the 454 will be Luke Turpin. So we're going to try to key up our in-car reporter for the race, Paul Coleman. Paul, this is PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, PD, what's going on?
Well, Paul, you're starting right in the middle of the pack today, around 25th. You ran a couple heat races, had one go very well, one not go so well. What's the strategy here in this one for the number 38 team?
Strategy here today is to avoid the accidents. The two heat races taught me that guys like to tend to go 4 wide here. There's room to go 4 wide if you can keep your lane, but unfortunately, guys just can't seem to keep their lane, so I'm going to try to hang back, let them kind of wreck, spin themselves out, and then play some pit strategy and get ourselves to the front towards the end. I was able to do that both races, made it to the last lap both times, and got through once and didn't get through the other time. So.
All right, Paul, well, we'll key you up in a little bit. That was Paul Coleman Jr., our in-race reporter today, starting 25th. Taking you to the front of the field, though, the pace car leads the field off of turn number 4. It makes that hard left-hand turn. The field is now at the mercy of Kenny Tripp. Here they come. Starter has the flag in hand. He lets it wave. Green flag in the air. We're down and away. And Kenny Tripp in the number 12 car with a nice jump. Actually looks like in the outside lane, Rafael Semperuch in the number 74 didn't get that car quite going good enough. He's going to lose second spot to Tyler McRae. McRae slides up in a second as everyone sorts positions out behind them. Something to note here is on the first 2 laps of a run, these cars are very slick. The tires are very cold. They don't stick to the racetrack that well, and we see these cars get loose more often than not. So keep an eye on that as they go 3 wide for the 4th position. Stephen Baird in the middle, Derek Coulson down low, Rafael Sempruch up top. Moving up into the 3rd spot already is Carlos Ruiz. Baird makes the middle work as he's now going to set his sights on Ruiz for the 3rd spot. Sempruch running really up high on the racetrack right now. That 74 team might just be kind of going with the strategy of, hey, we need to drop to the back and avoid all the carnage. So Sempruch continues to ride around as they go 3 wide for the 5th spot. First lap's going to be led by Kenny Tripp. Good battle going on for 2nd between Stephen Baird and Tyler McRae. And Jeremy Leto, here we go. He's going to push Ryan Soper up into the 4th position. And Jeremy Leto has to be the story of the weekend so far. Heat race number 2, he was leading coming off of turn number, or wasn't leading, but he was side-by-side for the win, coming off of turn 4 on the last lap, and race control had some sort of scoring error that didn't score him at the finish, and he never got the chance to race for that win to the start-finish line. If you could say one driver in this entire field had something they really wanted to prove today, it would certainly be Jeremy Leto in the number 86 machine. Up front, they continue to do the battle. Looks like we have about a 12-car lead pack and then a bunch of little packs of guys who have kind of fallen back, and it looks like they're trying to miss all the carnage before it gets to them. As up front, we have a good side-by-side battle coming to the start-finish line. That time it was Kenny Tripp once again, but now Stephen Baird does inch ahead with help from the outside lane. Ryan Soper doing a fantastic job right now pushing that 19 car. They continue to do the battle for the top few spots as they are 2 by 2, about 5 rows deep up front. Baird on the outside gets a good run down the backstretch. He might be able to clear Tripp as they head down into turn number 3. It depends on how good of a run Soper gets. Soper looks like he lets off. I don't think he wanted to give that type of bump to Baird already, and instead Jeremy Leto will give Soper a bump. They head off into turns 3 and 4. It's still Tripp leading on the low side. Soper and Leto kind of slipped up the racetrack, creating a 3rd lane as things are getting dicey now. The 5 of Derek Coulson makes contact with the car. Not sure who that is on his outside. That car is dicey. That's Angelo Espo right now. Espo kind of is all over the place right there, but it looks like he's going to recover. They go 3 wide now for about the 9th position. That includes Rafael Sempruch. I think I see the 19 in there somewhere. Lots of good racing going on there. Meanwhile, up front, the battle for 2nd is continuing to rage. Tyler McRae on the low side is dropping bombs machine. On the high side, the Gatorade car of Stephen Baird continue to do the dance. Looks like Jeremy Leto and Ryan Soper. I've seen them working together a lot early in this one. Maybe some sort of team strategy going on between those two. I'm not sure if they're teammates or not, but maybe they're just trying to work with each other for this race, do some drafting helps. I say that Soper drops down low. They're coming up on the lap car of Aiden McConaughey. McConaughey's going to need to get out of the way because they are 3 wide. And oh my goodness, Angelo Espo just had an absolute seizure of blinking there for a second. Looks like Espo has recovered. Here come the leaders on that last lap car of McConaughey. Let's see what they do with him here. McConaughey continues to drive up top. I think race control is kind of instructing him right now to stay out of the way of the leaders. They race 3, almost 4 wide behind him. This could get dicey. Here comes the leaders now. Tripp goes underneath the lap car of McConaughey. McConaughey had some sort of connection issue before the race. He had to start from the pits. So that's why you see McConaughey already becoming a lap car. Here we go. They go 3 wide with McConaughey. I think McConaughey will probably just adhere to the leaders. He's already 3 laps down at this point. I think he's just fighting to pick up positions from the guys who wreck, and maybe by the grace of God, if he gets the right cautions at the right time, he could work his way back out of the lead lap. As they all work their way by him, the battle for the lead stays tight. On the high side, it is Stephen Baird and that number 19 machine. Down low, it continues to be Kenny Tripp. That time by at the stripe for the first time, Stephen Baird has led a lap here on lap number 5. 5 of 100, and I should note that a fuel run here, if we continue under green for a while, is about 16, 17, or 18 laps, somewhere in that window. So around lap 17, 18, you'll expect to see these guys start coming down. That is, of course, if we do stay green here. So far, so good, though. A pretty clean start to this one. From what I'm seeing, it looks like no one's had big issues so far. Looks like our in-car reporter, Paul Coleman, running back in 35th. He just found Jeff Edgar, and those two are kind of running together, staying away from the trouble, as he told us he was going to in his pre-race interview. Up front, the battle for the lead continues to be pretty epic. Stephen Baird on the outside doing the dance, and oh my goodness, there's just a couple cars that spaz blinking out here. I think it might just be the time right now and so many cars on the track might just be causing a couple cars to spaz blink, and it might not even be their own fault. They continue to race side by side for the top spot. Kenny Tripp on the low side, just trying to find a way to maybe clear that number 12 or number 19, excuse me, of Stephen Baird. Update on the lap car of Aiden McConaughey. Looks like all the leaders were able to make their way by the 33. No harm, no foul. Here we go. Stephen Barrett gets a good push now on the outside. And Barrett, he's going to drop down low. Stephen Barrett goes to the lead after help from Dennis Wilder Jr. Wilder Jr. actually started in the 17th position, and he has already worked his way up to the front. That guy clearly knows how to get his way through a pack. And talking about making your way up front, the 454 of Luke Turpin starts shotgun on the field. This time by the stripe, I see Luke Turpin going 3 wide to make a pass. And Luke Turpin, he's already going to be up to the 22nd spot. Quick rundown of the top 10. Stephen Barrett in first. Second is going to be Dennis Wilder Jr. Third, Kenny Tripp. Fourth, Tyler McRae. Fifth, Ryan Soper. Sixth, Carlos Ruiz. Seventh, Jeremy Leto. Eighth, Derek Colson. Ninth, Jose Gaudino. And 10th, Rafael Semperuch. As the lead pack is starting to get a little bit more antsy now. Here we go. Dennis Wilder Jr. with a push from Ryan Soper. It's going to go to the top spot. That'll move the number 222 to the lead. And in just 8 laps of racing action, Dennis Wilder Jr. has gone from the 17th place starting position to the top spot here at Michigan. That just shows how quickly, if you know what you're doing with this draft, you can make your way up to the front. And maybe if you're sitting there in around 20th with 10 to go and you get a restart, look at what Dennis Wilder Jr. just did right here. He drove through the field in 8 laps, and he's now leading this thing. And what a job he is doing. He looks like he was meant to lead this thing. He's blocking the high line, blocking the low lane, driving right in the middle, making sure that no one gets too good of a run on him. 22 of Wilder. I don't know much about this driver. He's kind of new to us. This is his first week racing with us, but he looks like he has experience with drafting, as now he gets help from Ryan Soper. Soper has all sorts of trouble on his bumper as Jeremy Leto is giving him a heck of a push going into the corner. Like I said, Leto and Soper have been working together a lot this weekend. Soper certainly would like to get to the top spot himself. Here we go off turn 4. It's Barrett on the low side. On the high side, it's Wilders. They go 3 wide for about 4th. Carlos Ruiz on the low side underneath Tyler McRae. Let's see if McRae leaves him a lane to come up. He probably should here. Here we go. And he does. So Ruiz will get to slide back up the racetrack. Ruiz will slide back in behind Tyler McRae, as that almost did not go well for him. We continue to race side by side for the lead. Wilder on that high side. Here we go. Kenny Tripp making it 3 wide. They're going to put the 19 of Barrett in the middle, and that's just that sucker hole right there. There's really nowhere to go, as now Dennis Wilder Jr. comes down, and oh, that almost got dicey. It looked like Soper came down with the Barrett machine a little bit there. Not what I'm sure Baird wanted to see, but no one's any worse for wear, as everyone was able to hang on. Here we come off the corner now. Tripp on the low side gets a good run. He's trying to find his way around the 222 of Wilder, as Wilder continues to get that help from Stephen Baird. That time by the stripe, it will be Wilder once again, as Wilder continues to show the way. They are 3 wide for about the 8th position, with Derek Colson on the low side, Clinus LaBeouf in the middle, and Rafael Semperuch on that high side, as he has been since the race started. Pretty much whenever they threw the green flag, Rafael Semperuch decided that 3rd lane was his today, and he's just been hanging around the back of the top 10 with it. I can't say I blame him. You're probably going to avoid some trouble up there, and hopefully if things go well, he can continue to race well. Here we go. Carlos Ruiz makes a daring move underneath Tyler McRae. He's going to go underneath Kenny Tripp. What a move for Carlos Ruiz, and Ruiz is going for the 2nd position. He just drove that car down there and said, I don't have any disregard for anyone right now. I'm making this happen, and Ruiz drives his way up to the 2nd spot. Got to be careful with that, though. It's only lap 11, and I know you're capable of making it working, but you don't want to lose the respect of the other cars up front. That could be bad, as now Ruiz looks for room underneath Wilder. There's just none there, as Wilder, like I said, doing a good job controlling both lines. Wilder continues to show the way around. First car on the high side is Kenny Tripp. He has lots of help right now from Stephen Baird in the 19. Here we go. Ruiz gets underneath the 222 down the backstretch, as they are 3 wide now for the 2nd spot. Tripp goes to the lead, and it's going to be Ruiz moving up into that 2nd spot on the low side with a ton of drafting help from Tyler McRae in the 99. Here they go off in the corner. It's Ruiz with the slight bumper ahead. Carlos Ruiz continues to show the way around the speedway, as that number 22 machine gets a good run off the corner. McRae gives him a shove. So far, lots of good, clean racing I'm seeing going on between all these drivers. We do have one car that's a lap down. That's Angelo Espo. Not sure what happened there, but no one else has had any trouble so far outside of Aiden McConaughey with the connection. We are 3 wide for 4th as we go into the corner. Up the middle, first time I've talked about Larry Orn in the number 14 car. That car is finding his way near the front now. Larry Orn started 13th. He's already up here near the top 5, actually in the top 5 right now. On the high side, Orrin will give a push to Dennis Wilder Jr. He'll push Wilder to the top spot. Even more crazy than that is the guy who started 27th, Noah Carpenter, in that number 42 car. He is now racing for the top spot as he gives Orrin a push. Wilder takes the top spot back from Tripp. Wilder slid down in front of him, and Wilder will lead. Now the first car on the high side will be Larry Orrin in the 14. Let's see if Orrin gets a shot at it. Whoa, almost an incident there with Stephen Barrett. Everyone's going to hang on. These guys getting a little bit more dicey as the lap goes on. Worth noting, it's lap number 14. We should start seeing green flag pit stops in about 2 laps here if they can hang on for that long. They go 3 wide, 2 rows deep at the front of the field. It is Kenny Tripp on the low side. As now the 14 of Orrin will wash up, so they're only 3 wide, 1 row deep. I guess if you want to give them something, as Noah Carpenter now makes his way up there. And oh, here we go. A blocking move there by Kenny Tripp does not pay off as Carlos Ruiz gets underneath him there. 4 wide for second. Me oh my, this has not ended well a lot this weekend. Let's see what happens here. And everyone is not going to hang on. They're going to wreck. That is going to be a caution as Kenny Tripp goes flipping. And another car hard into the wall. Jeremy Leto spins. Everyone just needs to check up for this as I see a car on their roof. And it looks like we're going to have a few vehicles torn up after this one, as caution will fly for the first time in this event. That all started up front with Kenny Tripp in the 12. We'll have to see what happened there. Yeah, so Kenny just went off into the corner, and they were racing 4 wide. I said 4 wide doesn't work a lot. This is why I said it just doesn't. And the 42 of Noah Carpenter really just left no lane for the 12 of Kenny Tripp to race there, which sent both those cars wrecking up the racetrack, and a lot of damage there to Kenny Tripp. Also taking a lot of damage in that one. It looks like it was the 51 of Jonathan Langham. An unfortunate one there as his car just nosed into the wall. Larry Orrin, I think, isn't going to be much worse for wear. Tripp's the one who ended up on his roof, as I'm trying to take a look, see who else was involved in that one. The 82 of Alex Gangler somehow got around. Well, I saw Jeremy Leto spin. Tyler Batchelder ended up on his roof. That's unfortunate there for Tyler. And yeah, so a few good cars torn up on that one just as we were about to see pit stops. So this will give everyone an opportunity to come down pit road and get things taken care of. I think that one probably eliminated 3 cars from the race, and those 3 cars would be Kenny Tripp, Jonathan Langham, and Tyler Batchelder. So unfortunately for those 3 drivers, their race is going to end a little bit early. And it actually looks like that Tripp and Batchelder are teammates. So that wreck right there pretty much took out one whole team. So an unfortunate break there for those 3 guys. Langham, this was his first XCAL event. Not going to end the way he hoped it would as all the leaders come down pit road. And I mean, absolutely everyone's coming down pit road because, well, everyone needs gas. If anyone stayed out, that would have been quite a silly move. Actually, I am looking. It looks like James Bazin did stay out. Not sure why he did that, but you'll see him down pit road likely probably next lap. Take a nice little break there to drink some water and catch my breath after we had an exciting first little stint to this race here. Looking at the race off of pit road, I'm going to try to see who won that. It looks like Wilder did indeed win that battle off pit road. So Wilder did continue to lead the race as he came off of pit road. And, well, he'll technically be second, but I imagine you're going to see Bazin come down the pits. I'll get you an update on everyone else as they continue to sort it out. Looks like Brad Galogli is going to be in second. In third is going to be Tyler McRae. Fourth, Clinus LaBeouf. Fifth, Carlos Ruiz. Sixth will be Derek Colson. Seventh will be Aiden McConney. He was laps down. Seventh will be Jose Gaudino. Eighth will be Ryan Soper. Ninth will be Stephen Barrett. And 10th will be Rafael Semperuch when we get things back going. Nice thing about this track is not a lot of caution laps whenever we end up under yellow. There's typically only about 2 to 3 caution laps per yellow, so when we do get under yellow, we don't stay that way for long. Still have 33 cars on the lead lap. And actually, this is a good time for me to ring up my the last car on the lead lap, our in-race reporter, Paul Coleman Jr. You got a copy? It's PD up in the booth.
Yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good. So, Paul, we had a first little run there. Things were going well up front, lots of intense racing, but inevitably they went 4 wide and a wreck happened. How'd the strategy go early on? I saw you running back there with Jeff Edgar in the 7. Did you guys able to kind of stay out of trouble?
Yeah, Jeff and I were developing a nice little relationship back there. We were actually gaining on the 3 cars in front of us, so it was pretty good. Just like I said, just cruising along here. Going to play some pit strategy. Our caution just got extended an extra lap, so it looks like we're going to dip in here and top off and see what we can do to, maybe extend it and maybe catch a lead lap here. But just hanging in with the strategy. We're just going to ride around till about 60. As you saw there, the leaders took it 4 wide, so I don't want to be anywhere close to that right now. It's like a poker tournament. You got to still have a chip in a chair, and you can't win a poker tournament, in the first level.
Of course. Anything you notice about the car there early on that maybe you'll be able to use later in the race, though? I know you weren't really racing in a big pack, but do you think you learned anything from that first little stint we had?
No, honestly, not really. I mean, it was a little loose to start, obviously, so I know if I get a restart late, I'm going to have to watch out just a little bit. But, yeah, I was half throttling it the whole way, so I wasn't even going all out.
All right, well, 10-4, Paul, we'll let you get back with your crew. Thank you for joining us. We will key up Paul not momentarily, but probably next time we have a caution or I run out of things to say. That's usually about the time we ring up Paul as they get 1 to green. A couple quick updates. The 222 machine of Dennis Wilder Jr., he ended up having to come down pit road to serve a penalty. He was too fast in the pits. He'll start at the end of the line. Also, Brad Gologly, who got out of the pits second, I don't think he took enough gas. He came back down the pits to make sure he got enough. So what that leaves us with is Aquinas LaBeouf is now in the lead, and second's Tyler McRae. Third is going to be Jose Gaudino. Fourth will be Carlos Ruiz. Fifth will be Stephen Baird. Sixth will be Ryan Soper. Seventh will be Octavio Rondoletto. Eighth will be the number 74, Rafael Semperuch. Ninth will be Diego Romero Ruiz. And 10th will be Johnny B in the 062 when we get things back underway, this time by. It's going to be LaBeouf on the inside, leading him back to the green flag. Aquinas has ran with us for the last couple weeks here. He's become a good little runner here in this league. Curious to see what he can do for that RS Racing number 36 machine here. His teammate, Ryan Soper, is running in 6th right now, so I expect those 2 cars to try to get near each other here as this run continues to wear on. As we come through turns 3 and 4, the field will now be coming off of turn number 4 as the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car will make that hard left-hand turn, and it will leave the number 36 of Aquinas LaBeouf at the helm. He must wait until the green flag when he wants to go, as Luke Turpin's on the apron. Not sure what's going on there. He's going to pull back up. Here they come to the flag stand. The flagman has the flag in hand, and he waves it. Green flag in the air. We're back underway in the XCAL 400 Facebook-like super event, and Aquinas LaBeouf inches ahead at the line, but now on the outside, it's going to be the 99 of McRae pulling dead even with him. On the inside, it's LaBeouf continuing to lead, but now the 20 of Gaudino pulls up to his bumper to give him some assistance. Don't forget, these cars are oh so loose on these first few laps here, and you need to take it awfully careful if you want to stay out of trouble. Here we go on the outside. The 22 of Carlos Ruiz is looking to make it 3 wide already. Ruiz drives to the outside of McRae. On the inside of that is Gaudino. McRae looks like he tries to drive Ruiz up the racetrack a little bit, maybe saying, hey, buddy, I'm not trying to race 3 wide already. As they go off in the corner now, Ruiz will lose his momentum, and McRae will slide up in a second. McRae continues to lead that outside line. Now he gets help from Ruiz. Ruiz, though, he's shown he has no interest in driving behind anyone in this thing. He just wants to get that number 22 to the front, and he'll do it by any means necessary. He slides in behind the number 19 of Baird, is now the lone man on the outside line is Tyler McRae. Second car on that outside line is Rafael Semperuch. Semperuch is actually going to get a heck of a run here, and after running about 10th, Semperuch now is going to rocket towards the front, and he'll probably be the first car to be there to help Tyler McRae. McRae continues to show the way around the outside. Is on the inside. LaBeouf does a good job of battling back. McRae now takes the lead down the backstretch. Field kind of spread out right now. Like I said, we still have 33, I believe. Yes, 33 cars on the lead lap as we currently sit. Still got 35 cars on the speedway. So not bad at all. As we hit the 1/5 mark of this race here, this time by at the stripe, Aquinas LaBeouf will lead the way at the 1/5 mark, followed closely behind in his tire tracks by Jose Gaudino. Continuing to be the lone man on the outside line is Tyler McRae, although here we go. He finally has some help from Rafael Semperuch, who finally was able to catch up to him. Semperuch is going to give him the push now as they go off into the corner. Don't look now, but the 454 of Luke Turpin has found the top 10 after starting dead last in the field. He currently runs in the 10th position, and something tells me that Turpin just isn't done yet. He wants to find the front of the field, as he does oh so well, oh so often. Looks like following his tire tracks. I believe that might be Alex Gangler. No, that's actually, I think, Ron Walters in his tire tracks. All right, Ron Walters is giving him a push now, trying to get that car to the front. Up front, though, continues to be Aquinas LaBeouf showing the way, as that outside line hasn't been able to get much going. Semperuch has pulled up to the bumper of McRae, but they haven't got much of a good run off the corner yet, as we see Carlos Ruiz make a daring move on the inside of Baird to move up into the 5th spot. Ruiz, he's been the aggressor so far in this race, there's no doubt about it, which is weird because you typically don't see that out of Carlos. Carlos is typically a very, I'm not saying he's not driving clean, but he's typically, the guy that's clean, won't make the daring move, just wants to kind of chill and take it easy in the early stages of the race. Not the case here today at all. Carlos Ruiz has not hesitated to make it 3 or 4 wide and make a pass. Carlos Ruiz knows how much money's on the line in this one, and he just wants to lead them all. Here we go now. A third line is formed. That's Luke Turpin on the outside with help from Nick Ludiger. Luke Turpin continues to make his way up through this field of race cars after starting dead last in the field. It is worth noting, last time XCAL had a Facebook Likes races, they go 3 wide for second with Ruiz. My goodness, Ruiz with a daring move. Gaudino needs to let him back up. Gaudino needs to let him back up. Gaudino's not going to let him back up, and this is not going to be good as Carlos Ruiz just kind of door checks Gaudino and makes his way back up there. As now they are 4 wide. Luke Turpin makes it 4 wide on the outside for third. Thinks better of it and checks up a little bit. He says, all right, maybe not already. As they all get it sorted out up there. Continuing to lead will be Aquinas LaBeouf as Tyler McRae is going to push him off in the corner. As here we go, it is going to continue to be LaBeouf in the top spot. Turpin again making it 4 wide as Johnny B is going to press him up almost against the wall. They're going to hang on for the time being, but Johnny B needs to be aware of that car up there as they now are only 3 wide. Luke Turpin, I was trying to say earlier before things got all hairy, now last time we had one of these like races was the 100 like race in 2014, and Luke Turpin actually won that race, and that's how he became a member of XCAL Racing. So he's almost trying to defend his belt in this one, trying to defend the title of Facebook like race winner, and he had to do it by starting shotgun on the field with a provisional. So we'll see what happens here. The leaders come up on the lap car of Angelo, and Angelo just needs to keep that thing down below the white line or else things are going to get bad there. Here we go on the outside. Rafael Semperuch now inches ahead of Aquinas LaBeouf with help from Jose Gaudino. And on the inside, you kind of have a bunch of American drivers. On the outside, you have drivers from south of the equator until you get to Luke Turpin. Turpin now is going to look to make a move on the outside. Just nothing yet for Turpin. He made his way up in the top 10, and now I think he realizes they're racing pretty dicey up here. As this time by, we do hit the quarter mark in this race, 25 in, 75 to go. This is the distance of a heat race, so these guys have ran this much before. Let's hope they have 75 more laps of talent in them. As we key back in on the front, Semperuch on that high side with all sorts of help from Jose Gaudino. Just has not been able to clear Aquinas LaBeouf on the inside. But here we go down the backstretch, and I think finally that Semperuch has cleared the 26. He has. Let's see if he decides to cut down or if he stays in that outside lane. And I think that Semperuch just likes the outside lane. He is sticking with it. Because now they are 3 wide behind him with McRae, Diego Romero Ruiz, and Jose Gaudino. Let's see if Luke Turpin just decides to push one of them or if he wants to make it 4 wide. Now Turpin will pull into that middle line. I think he sees that's where the momentum's going, and Turpin will ride behind Diego Romero Ruiz. The battle for the lead continues to intensify, as leading that time by 8 1/1000ths of a second was Rafael Semperuch. Semperuch doing a good job on the outside lane, keeping that machine near the front. He's been right up there near the leaders pretty much for the majority of this race. Let's see if he can keep it up as they go down the backstretch one more time. And the issue for Semperuch is, besides that one lap, when they go down the backstretch, he's able to get about a nose ahead, as now they're going to go 3 wide for the lead with Jose Gaudino. But anything more than 3 wide would just be hectic into that corner. But what I was saying about the nose ahead is, even though they can get the nose ahead, it doesn't seem like they're able to quite clear the car on the inside the outside lanes. And that's the constant thing they're fighting here, as Aquinas LaBeouf is going to lead this time by at the stripe. The racing gets more hectic as Luke Turpin splits the middle. Turpin makes a daring move as he's going to bring that car up the middle now. He slides right in behind Diego Romero Ruiz. Ruiz is the second car in the outside lane. He's giving a nice little push there to Rafael Semperuch, as they are 3 wide now for the 5th spot. You're going to hear me say 3 wide a lot tonight. I'll give all of y'all a little drinking game. You take a shot every time I say 3 wide. Take 2 shots every time I say 4 wide. They're 3 wide for the third position now as Luke Turpin jumps to the outside. Turpin now, he's going to try to make it 3 wide for the lead. Semperuch in the middle on the low side, climbs to the buff. On the high side, Luke Turpin. Let's see if Turpin's able to use the side draft and get a good run off the corner. Here they come, and Turpin will get a decent run off the corner. I don't know if he has enough to quite pull up with the leaders. Side by side, they go for the lead at the stripe this time by. That one was, very close. I think it might have been Semperuch again. Semperuch did lead that lap by 21 1/1000ths of a second. Turpin continues to be the lone man on the outside in that third lane, just trying to make something work. They race awfully close and dicey in front of them. Last time these cars pitted was right about lap number 15, I believe. And we are getting closer to another pit stop here. I'd say right around lap 34 would be the next time these guys had to come down. They continue to race 3 wide for the lead, and things are getting hectic. 4 wide for the top spot. This never ends well. Let's see if it does this time. It will... Oh, no, it won't. Tyler McRae slides up the racetrack, and they are going to wreck. Caution is going to fly here from the Michigan Speedway, and that is a big one. What do I say? Anytime you hear me say 4 wide, take 2 shots, because you're probably not going to see what happens next. It just hasn't worked all weekend, and yet they still try to do it. That one started with McRae in the 99 and the 16 of Diego Romero Ruiz. As it looks like the 99 of McRae just slid up like half a lane into the 16. I don't see the 16 car move. The 16 car looks like he held his lane perfectly. I think the 99 just slid up a little bit, which put him into the 74. The 74 did an awesome job of almost saving it. And a lot of cars ended up wrecking that one, I will say that. McRae actually survived. We're going to try to get everyone who's involved in that one for you. I'm going through them right now. We have the 25 of Bruce Helmuth was definitely involved in that one. Tyler McRae. Dennis Wilder Jr. went for a spin, but not much damage. Ryan Soper's got some nose damage. Looking through these cars. We also had the 193 of Andrew Ford involved. And I know I saw a few other cars get some big junk there. Semperuch, I'm not sure what happened to him there. Yeah, that car is looking pretty torn up right now, so Semperuch sustained some damage. And yeah, this will give everyone another chance to come down pit road, though. I don't really know if that was a big enough wreck to take anyone out of the race. It does look like Bruce Helmuth has enough damage that might take him out for a little while. Carlos Ruiz is definitely out. The 22 of Carlos Ruiz is going to be out after that one. And Ron Walters with a little bit of damage, but nothing too ridiculous. That 00 car looks like it should be good to go back out there, as you're going to see everyone come down pit road again. We are now down just 29 cars on the lead lap, as this one has gotten a little bit hectic. Race Control has deemed that Tyler McRae was the cause of that one, as it looks like he did slide up about half a lane, as I said. And yeah, I'm going to take my 15-second water break and let you enjoy the cars taking their pit stops. I'll be back momentarily to tell you what happened. We're back here live from the Michigan Speedway, the Irish Hills of Michigan, and I've taken my water break. I'll tell you, my friend, I'm feeling a lot more refreshed now. We'll try to get an update of what the standings are looking like after that wreck. We're going to use this caution as another opportunity to key in our in-car reporter, Paul Coleman. Petey up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, Petey?
Pretty good, Paul. So another run there. I saw you were hanging out kind of near the back. It's kind of like that Queen song, you know, another one bites the dust. And we saw a few more bite the dust there. Your strategy seems to be working so far, and I have a feeling, Paul, that we still have 1 or 2 more of those happening. You know, it seems like every time we see that wreck, it's happening while they race for the lead and someone makes it 4 wide.
Absolutely, yeah. No, you'd think that these guys would learn their lesson after the heats, but after the first one, and it's happening up front too. They got to realize that this isn't a 25 lap heat race. This is a 100 lapper. You got to strap yourselves in, and you know, I'm kind of was like hoping for a green flag stop because you know I think I got some good strategy there. But I did learn one thing to answer your question from that: you can't pass passing is really, really difficult unless you have help. You can get ahead of a guy for about like a few car lengths, but other than that, you just hit a brick wall. So if you're going to make a run towards the end there, you're going to have to time it exactly right, like to the second. So that's kind of one of the things I'm working on back here right now, is just kind of looking at like timing and how to do that.
That's all sorts of good information there, Paul. Keep an eye out, by the way. Luke Turpin got a little damage. He's going to be starting behind you, but I have a feeling even with that little bit of damage, you're going to see him coming to the front pretty quickly. So
absolutely. I know. I heard, Luke's back to defend his Facebook win from, what was that, 8 years ago or something like that. I'm back to defend my cleanest driver award. So we'll definitely make sure he gets ahead. But I still want to show him that I got something, and I've learned something over the last 8 years that I can maybe beat him. That's my personal goal. I want to beat him.
It doesn't matter how, Paul. I hope you accomplish your goal tonight. We're going to let Paul go back to focusing on driving, though, and I will take you through the field as we have an updated running order. In first position is the 19 of Stephen Baird. In second is the 20 of Jose Gaudino. Third is Octavio Rondoletto. Fourth is Jeremy Leto. Fifth is Derek Colson. Sixth is Pedro Jose Luis Buenos. Seventh is Timothy Skillman. Eighth is James Bazin. Ninth is Johnny B. And rounding out your top 10 is John Kraft. As this time by, they get the white flag. One more lap till we go green flag racing. And it will be Baird leading this race for, I believe, the first time. Just a quick look at the incident points around here, and it looks like a lot of drivers already have sustained a 4X or a 2X in one way or another. So we give out money in this league if they get 5 drivers with the least incidents in each race, and there are only like 5 or 6 drivers right now with 0 incidents. So that money tonight will be up to grabs for anyone who wants to run a clean race. We continue to pace, though, down the backstretch. As we head off into turn number 3, the field is in the hands of Stephen Baird. 32 laps completed, still got 68 more to go, more than half the race. I promise you we will have more than half a race of excitement in those 68 laps, too. As we come out of turns 3 and 4, the pace car is going to make that hard left-hand turn into the pits when they get to the exit, and the field will be at the mercy of Stephen Baird. Let's see how Baird does from that top spot. Let's see if he can handle the 2 team cars behind him. 3rd and 5th, Octavio and Pedro, our teammates. Here they come. The flagman has the flag in hand, and the green flag is in the air. They're off and away, and Stephen Baird with a good jump, but not as good as Jose Gaudino on the outside. Gaudino on the outside with a heck of a run. However, saved by the push is Baird, as Octavio Rondoletto gave him a shove to keep him ahead. So Octavio Rondoletto runs in the 3rd position right now. He's trying to make it 2nd. Here they go off to turn number 1. Outside lane is relegated to simply Jose Gaudino and Jeremy Leto. Only 2 cars run up there right now. And a little bit of a separation from the rest of the field is all these guys, as they were able to pull a little bit of a gap there. Looks like only 6 cars in the lead pack right now, as 2 packs have already formed pretty quickly. Johnny B in the 06-2, he's making moves to try to make that not the case, though. They race 2 by 2 by 2 up front. On the outside, going for the top spot, is Pedro Luis. Pedro on the high side, trying to take that top spot away from Stephen Baird. Baird drives it off the corner, but it's going to be Pedro with all that momentum on the high side. And for the first time in his XCAL racing career, Pedro Luis will lead a lap in an XCAL feature event. He gets a shove now from Jose Gaudino, and that might be enough to clear Baird. It is. Pedro Luis moves to the top spot as he pulls down in line. Now the lead car on the outside is Jose Gaudino. Gaudino has help from Octavio Rondoletto. Like I said, XCAL has a small base of drivers from other countries, and 3 of them right now are leading this race. Pedro Luis, Jose Gaudino, and Octavio Rondoletto, all from the Club Hispano-America, which means they're all from South America. So these guys getting it in right now over the American drivers of Stephen Baird, Derek Colson, and Jeremy Leto, as now Octavio Rondoletto goes to the outside of Jose Gaudino. Pedro Luis continues to show the fast way around the racetrack, and now all by him lonesome in that outside lane is Rondoletto in the number 48. Rondoletto draws even with the number 20 of Jose Gaudino. They slide in behind the number 11 of Pedro Luis. Here comes Derek Colson now to the outside. Colson, for the first time this race, runs in the top 5. Let's see what kind of moves he's trying to make here. Colson runs right in behind Octavio Rondoletto. Here they come down the backstretch. Let's see if Colson makes a move. He has an opportunity to make it 3 wide. Will he do it? Yes, he will. Derek Colson makes it 3 wide down the backstretch, thinks better of it, and slides behind Rondoletto. Pedro Luis continues to control both lanes. 2 packs have formed. There's the 5 or 6 cars out front. Johnny B is in an island by himself, and then a whole minefield of race cars behind Johnny B. As Luke Turpin continues to make his way up front. Oh, we have an accident in the front of the field involving Derek Colson, who stopped in front of all the cars, as is Godino, and that is just bad right there, as no one had anywhere to go. I completely missed it when I was checking out the second little pack. Not sure what happened there. I'm sure we'll find out momentarily, though. Caution will fly for the 3rd time in this event, and it looks like coming off the corner, Stephen Baird and Derek Colson just kind of met in the middle there. And Colson got into Godino, which sent Godino spinning, sent Colson into the wall. And let's see who else got collected in that one. Looking at Colson in the 5. Colson got absolutely drilled by Ryan Soper. He got hit pretty hard by the 4. I'm not sure who's in that 4 car. Brad Gologly in the 4 car. So Colson was able to hang on. Or he wasn't able to hang on. That car was pretty torn up. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out who wrecked here. Godino, I know for a fact, did wreck. Godino, yep, he was involved in that one pretty heavy. He got drilled by the 82 of Gangler and the 8 of Bazin. Let's see if Bazin and Gangler hit anyone while they spun down the racetrack. Oh yeah, that 82 car went spinning all over the place. We had one car flipping wildly. That's Derek Colson. And yeah, that one's going to take out a few more. Luke Turpin involved in that one again, so was Diego Romero Ruiz, although neither of them got it too bad. Yeah, that brings us under caution for the 3rd time here. So immediately, I'm going to key up our in-car reporter this time. Paul Coleman Jr., you got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to I'm curious, because I didn't have, like, your part of the field wasn't rendering for me. Did you get any piece of the accident, or were you far enough back?
I was the last car on the lead lap. I saw that way ahead there that they were getting a little bit dicey, and I'm like, nope, no part of that.
Well, 10-4, Paul, and for your strategy, a few more bite the dust.
Yep. Unfortunately, a little bit of bad news there because I was at the back of the field. And the fact that, those guys go about 5 miles an hour with blown motors, I was unable to pit. So I'm probably going to get cut. So we're going to need to get another yellow here. So use your whatever juju power you have to root on another yellow in the next 13 laps.
Yeah, we will be sure to do that. And thank you once again, Paul. So now 29 cars remain on the lead lap. And a lot of them are worse for wear. Andrew Ford, his car's pretty beat up. Darren Snyder's car's pretty beat up. Derek Colson, I think, is probably pretty much done. Looks like Brad Gologly got some damage. Luke Turpin, a little more damage, but honestly, he probably needs it just to slow him down a little bit. And as we go up through the cars running in the field, Godino, it looks like he's going to be able to carry on in this one, despite getting heavy damage in that one. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the leaders did come down pit road. So we will see who's out front when things shake up, because I'm trying to figure that answer out for myself right now. It looks like Herbert Thomas in the number 28 car will be the leader this time by the stripe. So Thomas, for the first time in his career making an XCAL event, he was very excited. He finished, I think, 8th in the 4th heat race, and he was celebrating all over the place. He was tickled pink that he made this thing, and he will be restarting in the 1st spot as we have 1 to green this time by. So it's Herbert Thomas in 1st. 2nd is Jeff Edgar. Paul Coleman Jr. is up to 3rd right now. Okay, Paul. 4th is Octavio Rondoletto. 5th will be Jeremy Leto. 6th will be Stephen Baird. 7th will be Johnny B. 8th will be Aquinas LaBeouf. 9th will be Pedro Luis. And 12th, I believe, will be Timothy Skillman. Or 10th, I should say. Excuse me. Sorry. The grid order's all messed up and messing with me right now. So up front, we have a bunch of experienced drivers. I will say this, of the top 3, I don't believe that one of them is under the age of 45. And it might be 50, but I don't want to do Paul dirty like that, as I'm sure he's listening right now, shaking his fist at me angrily. Herbert, though, he's an older gentleman, but he is a very good, clean driver from what we've seen out of him so far, as this caution will get extended 1 lap. And race control probably just looking at a couple minor things here. I will update you on the official lead lap cars count. We have 26 left on the lead lap. Ron Walters is the first car, 1 lap down. Darren Snyder, he's in the pit, still getting damage fixed. Same with Andrew Ford. And unfortunate break for a few of these drivers, especially Darren Snyder, man. He had a good run last week, 4th at Bristol, but he would have liked to string a few good runs together, as he just has not had all the luck in the world these last few weeks. But you can't win them all, as they say. And he will likely get out there, run the rest of the laps, and try to pick up a few more positions, because I'm sure we haven't wrecked for the last time. I can almost say that with certainty. As this time by, the white flag will actually be displayed to the drivers, and we have one more lap till we get back. Green flag racing. Herbert Thomas will start first, second Jeff Edgar, third Paul Coleman, fourth Octavio Rondoletto, fifth Jeremy Leto, sixth will be Stephen Baird, seventh Johnny B, eighth Clinus LaBeouf, ninth Pedro Luis, and 10th Timothy Skillman. The next 5 drivers are Dennis Wilder Jr. in 11th, 12th Ryan Soper, 13th Diego Romero Ruiz, 14th John Schwartz, first time I've said his name today, 15th is Luke Turpin. And that'll round out your top 15. So as we head down the back stretch here, Herbert Thomas has the field in tow, as he is running a very patriotic USA car tonight. On the outside, that's a very simple paint scheme from Jeff Edgar. It says Wilson Race Cars on it. It kind of gives me throwbacks to 2014 XCAL, Randy Heffner's purple car. If any of you longtime XCAL watchers remember that. That's kind of what that 7 car is giving me vibes of right now. We head off into turns number 3 and 4. Herbert Thomas has the field in tow. The field will be at his mercy as he pulls off onto the apron, now pulls back up onto the racetrack, probably where he's going to want to be when we get this thing back going. Here they go down the backstretch, off of turn 4 one last time, and Herbert Thomas is having all sorts of issues right now getting this field going. Here they come off the corner, and pace car pulls off. Field is now in Herbert Thomas's hands. Here they go, and the green flag will be displayed. That was a very screwy start up front. So many things just happened there that aren't supposed to happen. A big checkup. This could be bad, as Herbert Thomas will not lead to the stripe. It will be the 7 of Jeff Edgar. Thomas on the low side races with Rondoletto for the second spot now. Paul Coleman Jr. in the number 66. We'll give that 28 of Thomas a little bit of a shove there. Helps him get off into the corner. Thomas now drives behind the number 7 of Edgar. They continue to race side by side for the second position behind Thomas. And now here we go, Octavio Rondoletto on the outside with help from Stephen Baird, and Jeremy Leto's looking to take the top spot. As they go down the backstretch, it will be Rondoletto inching ahead. He takes the top spot for now. Let's see if he can get his partner Baird with him. And they will both clear the 7 of Edgar. So now in the top spot is going to be the number 48 of Octavio Rondoletto. Second's going to be Stephen Baird. Third is going to be Jeremy Leto. Fourth will be Jeff Edgar. Fifth looks like it'll be Paul Coleman on the high side right now. Coleman having a good run in that number 38 machine so far in this one. We just put lap 40 in the books. We are 2/5 of the way through this one now, as this one has produced some exciting racing so far. Let's hope the next 3/5 of it continue to produce just as exciting racing. Rondoletto continues to lead. 3 wide, they're going to go for about 4th with Coleman on the outside. Coleman on the outside, Thomas on the low side, LaBeouf in the middle. Help with Wilder Jr. there, as Coleman actually disappeared for a second and reappears now with the 222 of Wilder on his inside, and now it's just a 2-wide battle as Clinus LaBeouf's going to move his way up into the 5th spot. He's looking for more of those. The 222 of Wilder helps him. They go to the outside of Jeff Edgar Jr., and they're just trying to find their way to that top spot. It continues to be as Herbert Thomas is going to pull off and come down pit road for gas. I think Herbert just wanted to lead some laps, have his moment in the sun. As they continue to run up front, it's going to be the number 38 machine getting around Jeff Edgar. He's going to bring Dennis Wilder Jr. with him. They move up into 4th and 5th. They will now set their sights in the top spot. LaBeouf gets a good run off of Leto. Wilder says, "Never mind, son, I'm going to the high side." And Wilder jumps to the outside of LaBeouf. Wilder now races side by side for that 4th spot as they head down the backstretch. Here comes Wilder for 3rd. Wilder on the high side. He's going to now battle for 3rd with Jeremy Leto. They go side by side for the 3rd position, and it is going to be Wilder on the outside, barely over Leto. Now Wilder's going for 2nd. He is a one-man wrecking team on the outside, making his way to the front, and as he races with Baird for 2nd, he is going to have that 2nd spot. One more spot eludes him, and that's the lead, as here comes Dennis Wilder Jr. on that outside with help from Clinus LaBeouf, and Wilder Jr. is going to take the lead momentarily over Octavio Rondoletto. We'll see what he's capable of doing as they head down the backstretch into turn number 3. It is Dennis Wilder Jr. on that outside, and he has ran a pretty race so far. Let me tell you what, I've been impressed with what I have seen from Wilder Jr. Wilder Jr. continues to lead him as they go down the backstretch. Let's see if he can clear the 48, and if he does, if he chooses to pull down. We will see what he chooses to do here as they go off into the corner, and it is Wilder on that high side. On the low side, Rondoletto. Here they come off the corner. It's going to be Wilder with a good run, as this lead pack is pretty small right now, only about 6 or 7 cars, but expect that to grow as the race goes on. Still have 24 of them on the lead lap. That means there's still 24 in contention. I'd say probably about 27, even with the cars 1 laps down. 3 wide for the 3rd spot right now as Pedro Buenos pulls to the high side. He thinks better of that for the time being. He's going to slide back into line. They continue to race side by side. For the lead, Dennis Wilder Jr. is trying to find his way around the top spot. Here they come down the backstretch. Wilder now inches ahead. If he can get a good enough push from Aquinas LaBeouf, he might clear the 48. Down the backstretch they go, and just not quite enough that time for Wilder, although a nice bump there at the end from LaBeouf, and he will just not quite be clear. Almost had it that time, but couldn't get it. Rondoletto on the bottom side continues to fight back. Don't forget, last week when the XCAL Racing Association went to the Bristol Motor Speedway, it was Octavio Rondoletto in the number 48 who was victorious. Rondoletto now on the low side, trying to prevent that 222 from clearing him. The 222 with some awfully close side draft as they go 3 wide for second. Now 3 wide for the lead as now Pedro Buenos is going to back out and say, hey, you know what's lap 45? That might be a little bit too early for that type of move right there. And he will slide back in the line. Wilder continues to run around the outside lane. Kind of a boring battle up front right now. No one's really getting the edge, although Wilder this time will clear the 48. Wilder has taken the top spot. He can slide down if he wants to. He might be trying to take LaBeouf with him. And he will pull down now as LaBeouf is not able to quite clear the 48. And the 222 has officially taken the top spot away. Good battles going on, a little bit further back past them. We have Johnny B racing 3 wide with Diego Romero Ruiz and Timothy Skillman. That's all for about, I believe, the 8th, 9th, and 10th spots right there. Lots of good racing going on all over the track as Dennis Wilder continues to lead. It's LaBeouf on the outside now, leading that outside charge. On the inside, the first car behind Wilder is going to be Rondoletto. There are 5 laps till a halfway point. And in these races, it kind of feels like when you get to that halfway point, a switch gets flipped. And I know it's a little bit too early and you don't want to flip the switch quite yet, but some of these drivers, it just seems like right around halfway is when they flip the switch. It's Aquinas LaBeouf on the low side. He's going to take the lead away from Wilder. LaBeouf goes back to the top spot, and I'll tell you what, I don't think any 2 drivers have led more laps in this race than that 36 and the 222. Those 2 cars have been running awfully good from the get-go, and they are 1 and 2 right now, battling for the lead as Wilder will lead that lap. LaBeouf on the inside, though, just trying to get some good run in here out of that number 36 machine. Really has no help right now as Rondoletto backs off and helps his teammate buy ones on the outside. A good opportunity here for Stephen Baird to maybe jump to the inside and make a move. He's off the corner. Wilder zooms down the backstretch, and LaBeouf with no help is just kind of a sitting duck. That's going to be all Wilder for the top spot. Let's see if he can bring Pedro Buenos with him. Buenos in the 2nd spot, and Buenos will clear LaBeouf. So those 2 are clear for 1st and 2nd. LaBeouf will be shuffled back to the 3rd spot now as he races side by side with Octavio Rondoletto. Rondoletto on the outside gets a good little run here. Watch for the 48 and that 11 car to make some sort of move as the racing does continue to tighten up here near the front. It's still got about 6 or 7 cars in this lead pack, I would say, although Jeremy Leto and Jeff Edgar are kind of just hanging back a little bit, biding their time, it would look like. That top spot battle is as epic as ever. Now they're 3 wide for second. LaBeouf's going to flip the throttle a little bit there and not force a 3 wide situation in turn 1. Good heads-up driving there by LaBeouf. As they come down the backstretch now, it's going to be Octavio Rondoletto jumping to the outside. Oh, Wilder almost puts him in the wall with a block, but Rondoletto will keep his foot in the gas, and he will continue to run on that 2nd spot. As now they're 3 wide for the lead. Rondoletto up top, by ones in the middle, and it will be the number 222 of Wilder on the inside. Let's see who LaBeouf decides to give the help to as they come off the corner. Will he go with the top or will he go with the bottom? Maybe he'll try to make it 3 wide. He thinks about making it 3 wide, but rather just gives Wilder that good shove down the front straightaway, and that's going to make it awfully close as the line as Pedro had no help. At that time by at the stripe, it was by ones by 4 1/1000ths of a second. It doesn't get much closer than that, I promise you. As they come down here, and I need to mention it just because it is worth mentioning. The last time XCAL had one of these big money races to win, I told you Luke Turpin won it, but what I didn't tell you is that he won it in a dead heat. It was a tie at the finish line. XCAL reviewed the finish for 3 days from multiple different camera angles, trying to declare a winner, but it was literally a dead heat. iRacing scored at .00000 all the way down, and at that point, iRacing, XCAL decided, I should say, that the driver who was leading at the white flag lap was the driver who won the race, and Luke Turpin led the white flag lap by about 4 1/1000ths of a second. So if this race is anything like the last Facebook Likes race that XCAL had, it is sure to have a doozy finish just like that one. We saw a few doozy finishes in the heat races. In Heat 4, we saw Rafael Semperuch win by 8/1000ths of a second over Ryan Soper. And a lot of close finishes at the line so far in this one, as Pedro Luis Baiwans led by that time. He has help from his teammate, the 48 of Octavio Rondoletto. This time by the stripe, there will be the cross flags in the air, meaning halfway down, halfway to go, as they get ready for the second half of this one. A pretty good first half of this race, not going to lie, as the leaders approach the lap car of Ron Walters. Walters will go high and get out of the way for the leaders, as Wilder on the low side continues to lead. As I mentioned, the lead pack is just about 5 cars right now. Then you have to go back to Timothy Skillman and Rafael Semperuch, who was involved in the last caution. Like I said, he didn't get too much damage, though. And that 74 has fought his way all the way back through the pack to be up to the 7th spot. So good running there on Semperuch, never giving up on it, as they almost go 4 wide back there in that second pack with Semperuch. Up front, the battle still stays intense, although let's focus on the second pack a little bit for a minute, because I've been talking about those 5 up front for a while now. It's been pretty good back here in the second pack, too. Johnny B in the 062 has led this pack for a while, along with Timothy Skillman in the 82, excuse me, as now Semperuch has made his way up through here. You also have Diego Romero Ruiz running with this pack, and I believe that was also Tyler Batchelder, who's a lap down racing with those guys. Ryan Soper I see in the back of the pack, and I'm not sure who that is in front of Soper. That's Brad Gologly. Brad Gologly in the number 4. They race 3 wide in that pack down the front stretch to the start-finish line, and at that time by for the 7th position, it was Timothy Skillman over Semperuch and Johnny B. We're going to go back up with the leaders now and see how the action's playing out up there, as Jeremy Leto, by the way, he's just like in between these 2 packs right now. He doesn't want any of the action. He's just happily sitting in 6th. If the leaders wreck in front of him, he has enough time to miss it. If that pack behind him wrecks, he won't be involved in it, obviously. They go 3 wide for the top spot as they come up on a lap car. I believe that's 25-ish. Could be mistaken, though. That was the 28 of Herbert Thomas, excuse me. Thomas already 1 lap down, probably hoping not to go down another, as the leaders probably are approaching green flag pit stop territory fairly soon. Up front, it's a good side-by-side battle as they do the dance. On the high side, it's Wilder. On the low side, it's going to be Octavio Rondoletto. Rondoletto gets a good push from Finest to Buff, as Wilder gets a good push from number 11. I hate to take my eyes off the battle for the lead, but I'm going to go back to a battle now that we have unfolding for about the 6th position. Johnny B is racing side-by-side with Rafael Semperuch. Looks like the rest of that pack got it might have been some sort of incident or something, because I'm noticing some cars missing from that pack. Not sure what happened. I didn't see anything, although I do notice that Timothy Skillman now is running back a good bit further than he was before, so maybe something involving that 82 car. Yeah, I see no other cars out of it, though, so not sure what happened. Our in-race reporter, Paul Coleman, is coming down pit road, and he's making his pit stop right now. Up front, though, the battle for the lead continues to rage on. Wilder on the high side has that top spot for the time being as Buenos pushes his bumper. A really good battle with these top few guys, although in the second half of this race, I hope we can maybe add a few more names to the mix, because I'm not going to lie, 5 cars up front, it isn't all that exciting right now. You know, you want to see those 30-car packs going 4 wide for the lead, but then again, when that happens, it's why we don't have those packs, because half the cars wreck out of the field. I believe the leaders are approaching green flag pit stops, like I said, but I mean like now. I think you're going to see some of those guys drop off this time by. I see Aquinas LaBeouf miking up, which probably indicates that he is going to be pulling off the track. I see the hand coming out of the window of the 36 car, letting the guys know he's pulling down, and you will see LaBeouf pull off. LaBeouf is the only one in the lead pack that decided to come down this time by. In that second pack, it looks like you're also going to see Ryan Soper in the 84 car. They continue to race hot and heavy, and pitting under green has to be so sketchy here, because all it takes is 1 caution when you're on pit road and you get trapped a lap down, and that is just not a situation you want to find yourself in a big track like Michigan. Up front, still single file now. I think these guys are starting to prepare for pit stops, and they didn't want to be racing side by side now. Stupid things happen is now actually Octavio Rondoletto and Baiwans are going to try to go around Wilder for the lead. They go to the low side. It'll be Wilder up top. The lead pack is only 4 cars right now due to pit stops, the last one being Stephen Barrett. This time around, let's see if any more of the leaders pull down. Probably not going to be the 222, but we will see It looks like none of them are going to come down this time. Looking back, seeing if anyone else decided to drop down. The whole second pack will come down. Johnny B in the 062, Diego Romero Ruiz. Looks like we also have Batchelder, Rafael Semperuch. Almost a wreck coming out of pit road as Diego Romero Ruiz got hard into the back of that number 062 of Johnny B. An unfortunate one there, but they all hung on. And it looks like a lot of the cars from the second and third packs have come down pit road, and now we just simply await the leaders, I believe. Up front, they continue to run in a single file line, except for the 222, who's way up high of them. As they come around this time by, I think you'll expect to see some more of the leaders coming down. As here we come, and yep, Pedro Luis has his hand out the window, as does Octavio Rondoletto. So those two will be coming down, as will the 222 of Wilder and the 19 of Baird as well. So all of our leaders come down pit road. Let's see if anyone makes a mistake and locks them up. It looks like they will not. And this will cycle, I believe, Jeremy Leto into the top spot. So Leto's into the top spot now in an island all by himself. Where second place car hasn't even filtered through yet. It would be John Kraft, but John Kraft came down pit road. Luke Turpin also came down pit road. And I believe that it's just going to be the 86 of Leto that still has to pit. So we'll see if Leto decides to come down this next time by as he runs all by himself up front. We'll see how pit stops shake things up. Sometimes you'll see someone that was in like the third pack will end up leading, and someone that was up front is going to be like 10 car lengths back. It really all depends on how the circumstances played out. Here comes the 86 of Leto by this time by. He has the hand out the window. That car is slowing down, and Jeremy Leto is going to bring the number 86 machine down pit road. So Leto's crew will get their first opportunity to green flag pit stop, and that should cycle things through. Let's see how this one kind of played out. Wilder Jr., I think, might have got a penalty. He's still sitting on pit road long after everyone else. And that's a unfortunate break for him if he did. I'm looking to see how this is going to cycle out. I think when it cycles out, you might see Johnny B as the leader. And I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to wait for the scoring booth to score him this time by and see what happens here. Definitely going to be some cars spread out, though, as I'm looking. And I think it's going to be Diego Romero Ruiz. Should be the leader this time by when they come by. I think second's going to be Johnny B. Third will be Pedro Bywans. Fourth will be Octavio Rondoletto. Fifth should be, I believe, Stephen Baird. Sixth, Dennis Wilder. Seventh, Linus LaBeouf. Eighth, Ryan Soper. Ninth will be Rafael Semperuch. And 10th will be Luke Turpin. These cars are all sorts of spread out right now. I don't know how Diego pulled off a pit stop that quick, to be 100% honest with you. He must have been absolutely cooking on pit road. But that 16 of Diego Romero Ruiz has about a 8-second lead over Pedro Bywans, as there must have been a mistake there. Johnny B. What happened to Johnny B? The 062 should have been in second, but he got trapped a lap down somehow. Okay, so that's what happened there. So your leader is Ruiz. Second is going to be Pedro Bywans, who's 8 seconds behind Ruiz. Third will be Octavio Rondoletto, who runs directly behind. And then we have a third pack with the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars of Baird, LaBeouf, and Soper. And then behind them a little ways, we have another pack with Semperuch, Turpin, Schwartz, John Kraft, and Tyler McRae. So up front it is Diego Romero Ruiz, somehow in a zip code all by himself. He must have pulled off the perfect pitch strategy. Right now he's just kind of hoping, though, that he can find like a lap car or someone to run with him, because he has no drafting help. And before long, that 48 and 31 working together probably will catch him. Rondoletto and the 11 car of Bywans are just kind of sucked right up on each other right now, trying to find their way to the front, as is Baird and Brad Galogly. And behind them you have that little 3-pack of race cars, trying to find where the best battle on the racetrack is right now. We really don't have a pack of more than 3 cars, and pitch strategy has really thrown a wrench in this one for a lot of these drivers. We have a lot of guys trapped 1 lap down, still 22 on the lead lap, but not what we'd expect at this stage in the race. This time by, 60 laps down, 3/5 of the way in the book. Still 2/5 to go. Those final 40 laps, those are probably going to be some of the more exciting ones, so stay fastened to your seat. It is going to be good here as we get down to the end. Worth noting, too, Jeremy Leto did cycle out in 7th position after his pit stop, so Leto's crew looks like they had a good stop overall. And is a little 4-car pack, and caution is going to fly. Caution is going to fly, and that will get everything back to where it's supposed to be. I have absolutely no idea where the caution was on the racetrack. I'm looking around right now, and I do see the 99 of Tyler McRae in the grass, and it looks like Herbert Thomas spun out on the front stretch. I believe it was the 28 of Thomas, spun out in the front stretch and brought out the caution as he was spun out right in the middle of the racing lane. Race control deemed that would warrant a caution. So we are now under our fourth caution of the event, either fourth or fifth. I can't remember, but not too many so far, 60 laps into it. And that is much to the dismay of Diego Romero Luis, who had a 7-second lead on the field. We still have 21 cars in the lead lap. Looks like Johnny B will be the beneficiary here of the wave around. And race control, I'm sure, is yelling important stuff at the drivers. So I'm going to wait a minute before I cue in our in-race reporter, Paul Coleman Jr. But I do have a few questions I would like to ask him here, as now looks like Hillbush has let the drivers go at it. So we're going to cue in Paul Coleman Jr., PDJ up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, Paul. So here we sit, 60 laps to go. Fuel runs about 18-ish laps. What are you thinking here strategy-wise, seeing how we just had a long green flag run like that, and now knowing it's a possibility that maybe we could go green to the end?
Well, we're definitely pitting, but yeah, this is going to be, luckily, 14th. I think I'm one of the last cars on the lead lap. You might be able to check scoring for that, but yeah, I think it's go time. That long green flag run there was great, and like I said, I got lucky. Was able to pit, only pitted 2 laps before the rest of the leaders started coming in, so it wasn't too bad there. Now we're going to come in, top it off, and we'll see where we go.
So are you thinking this is probably one more stop, or if this goes green to the end, do you think you'll have enough to save to make it one more stop?
I think so. I've other than that last run, I've not been running full throttle, and I've been getting 18, 19 laps. So if I can do it, then I think we can do it on one stop right here.
10-4. Do you think that's something on the drivers' minds right now, though? You know, looking at how this caution came out perfectly, where it is going to be close if we go green to the end. Do you think we're going to see a lot of guys maybe taking fuel strategy into account here at the end?
I think you're going to see it mixed. You're going to see some guys, I think, still get kind of racy up front. And that's what I'm worried about, because I think you're still going to see another 4 wide. And I think, quite frankly, if it's anything like we've seen so far, we might have a green-white checkered. But I hope it goes green. I'm praying for that. That's what I'm going for. If it goes green, I'm in good shape.
Well, 10-4, Paul. We'll let you get back with your crew. I'm going to take a 15 to 30 second timeout. We will be back momentarily. Enjoy Tanner's camera work. All right, so we're back here, as it looks like the field is behind the pace car. I'm not sure if we're 1 to green or if race control is delayed to yellow. Let me look. And we get up front. No, we're going green this time by. So here's your top 10. Jeremy Leto in first. In second, Rafael Sempruch. Third, John Kraft. Fourth, Timothy Skillman. Fifth, Jose Gaudino. Sixth, Pedro Bywan. Seventh, Octavio Rondoletto. Eighth, Stephen Baird. Ninth will be Clinus LaBeouf. And 10th will be Ryan Soper. They come through the corners, and Leto will bring the field down to the green flag. Let's see how this goes. We're going to have just about 37-ish laps to go when we get back racing here. And all sorts of different strategy going on. Here we go. Pace car is going to make that hard left-hand turn. And the green flag is in the starter's hand. And green flag is in the air, and it's going to be the number 86 of Jeremy Leto. He pulls to the top spot now. Sempruch on the outside did not get that great of a jump, and not getting a good jump at all was Jose Gaudino in fifth. He absolutely held up that middle line, or the bottom line, excuse me, and now guys shuffling all over the place to try to miss him. In third place, it will be Sempruch, as John Kraft has pulled up in the second in that number 66 car this week. He rides right in the tire tracks of Jeremy Leto. And as I made mention to earlier, Jeremy Leto would definitely be the Cinderella story of winning this race. After what he went through in his heat races, we have an issue on the backstretch. By ones gets all sorts of squirrely. He's going to hang on. He's going to merge back in front of Gaudino. Gaudino will let him slide back in. Fortunate that wasn't caution there. Good driving by Pedro Luis to keep that car facing the right way. We race 3 wide for about the 5th position right now. On the low side, it is that number 19 car of Stephen Baird. Baird doing his best job to keep his car on that low side now of anyone else. On top of him right now is Octavio Rondoletto, as Jeremy Leto continues to show the fast way around the safe speedway. Sempruch on the high side is going to pull even with Kraft. Sempruch continues to drive that high side of the racetrack. Here they come down the backstretch. Sempruch inches ahead of the number 66 of Kraft, but Leto showing the way. It's a fixed setup race, but Leto seemed to have a strong car all weekend. Seems like on the straightaways he almost pulls these guys. Maybe he snuck into the garage where we were holding all the cars overnight, making sure that no one was messing with him. Maybe he got in there and sawed a little deeper hole into the restrictor plate and is getting more air to that motor. Here they come through the tri-oval, not really a tri-oval I guess, but through the quad oval for the last time. And it will be Jeremy Leto leading him that time by. The number 66 of Kraft continues to run in second. Third is Rafael Sempruch. Fourth, Octavio Rondoletto. Fifth will be Timothy Skillman. Sixth will be Stephen Baird. Seventh will be Clinus DeBuff. Eighth, Tyler McRae. Ninth, Ryan Soper. And 10th, after an incredible save, Pedro Buenas. As no one has really been able to get too close to Leto. As I said, he's been pulling him down the straightaway, but it just seems like no one's been able to challenge him here on this run so far. Keeping in mind all sorts of fuel strategy, and also checking in with our in-race reporter, Paul Coleman Jr. He said it was go time, but it looks like he has found himself in the second pack with the 062 and the 82, so Paul might just be biding his time and seeing what happens. Up front, the battle for the lead has started to intensify a little bit. This pack is getting more and more dicey as the race goes on. Now that high side is led by Rafael Sempruch. Pulling in behind him is the 99 McRae. They are up to second spot as they race with Kraft. Here they come through the corner, and Leto once again just pulls him in that corner. Jeremy Leto, he knows the fast way around this racetrack. He's the only guy this week that I've seen be able to pull anyone anywhere. And we will certainly take that in note if this gets to a late stage in the race and Leto's leading. Now finally with some good help is Rafael Sempruch as he gets a shove in the back bumper from McRae. McRae now dives down low. McRae wants to go with Leto. Don't forget it was McRae and Leto who had that crazy finish in heat race number 2. I'm sure they both remember each other very well after that. They come down the front straightaway once again, and McRae is going to pull right up to the bumper of Jeremy Leto. Let's see if he decides to make a move. Will he dive low? Will he go high? He will not make any sort of move, and he's just going to stay in line behind Jeremy Leto. McRae happy to run in second right now as Sempruch on the high side now has help from Pedro Buenas. Pedro Buenas doing his best job right now to try to get that 74 car to the top spot. Sempruch has just had, besides that one little caution he was involved in that really didn't damage his car too bad, he has had all sorts of good runs going on in this race. Pretty much the whole event, I have seen that number 74 of Sempruch in a top few position just about every time I looked up there. They continue to race through the corners, and it is going to be Jeremy Leto showing the way on that low side. Here we go on the high side. Looks like finally the 74 of Sempruch is going to get a good run. Let's see what he does with it off the corner. Sempruch does get the run down the front straightaway. Looks like Leto wanted to come up, but finally there was a car on his outside. This time by the stripe, it will be Jeremy Leto, but Rafael Sempruch inches closer and closer. Here they head down into turn number 1. This lead pack is getting bigger by the lap. Have about 15 cars up there racing for the top spot. Don't look now with the 454 of Luke Turpin. He took it easy that last run. He is now near the front. He knows there's just about 30 to go, and it is go time here in this one. Leto blocks the high lane, comes back down low to block the low lane, and it's Semperuch now making his mark for the front. Semperuch on the high side is going to lose his help from Buenos. Buenos goes up high into a third lane. He's going to lose a boatload of spots here. Aquinas LaBeouf gets by him. Stephen Laird gets by him. Diego Romero Ruiz is going to get by him. And the 11 car just kind of got shuffled out of line there, and he is the odd man out in that lead pack. Now with help behind him from Aquinas LaBeouf, Rafael Semperuch gets a shove down the front stretch, and Semperuch draws even with Jeremy Leto. That high line finally able to get something going here as we just hit the lap 70 mark. 30 more to go around the high banks of the Irish Hills in Michigan. As they come off corner number 2, it is Jeremy Leto is finally going to be challenged for the lead as here comes Semperuch. Semperuch with a good run down the backstretch. Let's see what he has for that 86. Can he find a way around? Nothing doing yet. McRae in the 99 doing a really good job of keeping that 86 out front. The 86 has a strong car regardless, like I said, but that 99 of McRae doing a good job giving him a shove there as they continue to keep things orderly off the corner. This time by on the high side, Semperuch gets a very good run, probably the best run he's got off the corner yet. Aquinas LaBeouf giving him all sorts of help. He's giving him a push, giving him a shove, and it's going to be Semperuch that time by at the flag stand by 28 1/1000ths of a second. Semperuch, he might have led the most laps in this race. He's right up there with some of these guys that have been leading a lot. I bet you I'll be curious to see the post-race statistics. I bet you we got a lot of different leaders in this race, and I bet you the most laps led is pretty evenly distributed. I bet you there's like 5 or 6 different guys who have led like 10 laps so far. Up front, Semperuch is now showing the way on the high side, and it looks like finally that high side is the lane to be, as they have about 7 or 8 cars all tucked in orderly fashion, running here organized. And as I say that, Stephen Baird chucks to the middle to try to make it 3 wide. LaBeouf will throw the block. No 3 wide move being made yet. And now it will be Semperuch on the high side. Getting a block from Leto. Semperuch goes wide to miss him. It's going to be close to the stripe regardless. It is Leto barely, just because Semperuch let off the gas a little bit, not to knock into Leto. And Semperuch does have the advantage heading into turn number 1. Let's see if that high lane can make it happen this time. Semperuch comes down as low as he has yet to get that side draft off Leto. And contact is made. A car is going up near the wall. That's the 222. And a car is going to spin. That's Timothy Skillman. I don't think we'll see the caution for this one as Skillman gets it facing the right way. We are going to stay green, but Skillman did go around in that number 83 machine. He gets it back going, and as long as we get another caution in this one, he will still have a plenty good shot at that. No damage taken for him, maybe a few flat-spotted tires. Up front, the battle for the lead continues to be excellent. Semperuch on that high side is trying to get the advantage of the stripe. Good push from Aquinas LaBeouf. This is going to be probably the closest lap yet at the stripe. It is Semperuch, and it wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be. Only 33 1/1000ths of a second, but it is that high side that has the advantage. You see Angelo Espo exiting the pits. Espo's running about 13 laps down. And Jeremy Leto gets shoved. He goes down the racetrack off it, and he is going to slide back up. And now he gets into Tyler McRae. They spin towards the inside wall, and let's see if that brings out the caution. And none of them are going to hit it, but they need to get those cars going as they're both off the racing surface. That will not warrant a yellow. Here we go for the top spot. It is Aquinas LaBeouf on the inside. On the outside, it's still Rafael Semperuch. The 53 of Tyler Batchelder is a lap down, so don't pay too much mind to that car. He is simply just racing to get his lap back. He is it's actually 3 laps down, so he's hoping to maybe get back to 1 lap down and have a shot at it. As he gets shoved into the wall, and they wreck! It is the lap car of Batchelder that ends up wrecking in front of the field. Let's see if everyone else can miss it. If so, this really wasn't that big of a wreck, and it was not. Caution will fly. And that is just what McRae wanted to see, both McRae and Leto and Skillman, as they're all going to get it back going. So the caution will fly for that accident on the front stretch. That started with a lap car of Tyler Batchelder. Looks like he is the only one that got anything too bad out of that, which I'm not saying that we wanted to see him get anything bad out of that, but as far as battling for the lead goes, we didn't want to see any of the leaders hurt, and it looks like they will not be. Batchelder looks like he's got put in the wall a little bit by Semperuch, spun down the racetrack, and then we saw the 19 of Stephen Laird spin, and I believe that might have been the 062 of Johnny B, who also spun. That might have actually been Octavio Rondoletto who got involved in that one. Nonetheless, not a big accident. Not a big accident, and we will see the guys coming down pit road. 25 laps to go. We're going to get a restart with about 20 to go. They're not quite in the fuel window yet. And for this, I definitely want to cue in our in-car reporter, Paul Coleman Jr., PDJ up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, PD.
Paul, you sound a little glum. So first off, Oh, well, let us know what you're sounding glum about. The second off.
I had the fuel calculation exactly the lap 100. That was good by 0.2 of a gallon.
So tell me, what does this caution here do to that strategy?
Completely throws it out the window. Starting over.
Do you think there's any sort of shot with the right amount of cautions that you could make it to the end, or is it just you're going to need 2 stops purely?
Yeah, you're gonna need 2 stops. I mean, I'm dead last on the lead lap, so I'm gonna pit with 1 lap to go, and we'll see if we get a lot of cautions what happens. But yeah, we'll stay out for the rest of the race, and we'll try it. I mean, this is a non-points event, right? So
yeah, go big or go home. It's for the paycheck.
Absolutely. So we'll do that. We'll pit now. We'll pit again, and we'll see how it goes. But we're here. We're on the lead lap still. We're having fun. And by the way, I got to give a shout out to K2 Sauce. I haven't done that yet, so we may not get another yellow, so I might not get a chance to do that. So check out K2Sauce.com. It's the only sauce you'll ever need. It's some of the best stuff on earth. And once you try it, you'll never go back to anything else, and you'll never need anything else in your fridge. So give it a whirl. K2Sauce.com.
All right, well, thank you, Paul, for joining us. One car did decide to stay out, and that was the leader of Quinus LaBeouf. Everyone else pitted except for Quinus. Maybe Quinus is thinking everyone else is going to have to pit one more time anyway, so I'm just going to stay out and hedge my odds. We are going to take a 30-second timeout. I'm going to go drink some water, get some of my voice back. We'll be back momentarily. Enjoy Tanner's camera work. And we are back here live, as we'll probably get 1 to green this time around. And it looks like when things shuffle out, I think Luke Turpin is going to be your leader. Second place looks like it's going to be Pedro Buenas. Third is going to be Diego Romero Ruiz. And actually, I'm just going to let him go by the stripe. This isn't really sorted out, all organized yet. I'll be curious to see what it looks like when we get the official word. It does look like we have 23 cars on the lead lap, and about 32 still on the speedway, I believe. As, actually, maybe it's 33. No, Derek Colson's machine still is yet to get back out there. Actually, Carlos Ruiz has gotten back out there, though. He's 45 laps down and 35th. But no quitting Carlos Ruiz. That car is out there running, as is the guy 42 laps down, Bruce Helmuth. So we still have 34 cars on the racetrack. Not bad for 38 starting. You will take that all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. As this one has been, I think, pretty much everything it's been billed to be. It has been an epic race. I have enjoyed calling it. I've enjoyed watching it. And here, I'll give you your official top 10. First place is Luke Turpin. Surprise, surprise. Turpin's leading with 20 go. It's not like that has ever happened before. Second place is Pedro Buenos. Third place is Diego Romero Ruiz. Fourth is Ryan Soper. Fifth is Arthur Hendren, who's had a quiet day today, but it's go time and he's up front. Sixth is John Schwartz. Seventh is Tyler McRae. Eighth is Rafael Sempruch. Ninth is Jeremy Leto. And 10th is John Kraft. I'll just give you all the drivers on the lead lap. 11th is Larry Orrin, 12th James Bazin, 13th Timothy Skillman, 14th Stephen Baird, 15th Octavio Rondoletto, 16th Jose Godino, 17th Alex Gangler, 18th Paul Coleman Jr., 19th Clinus LaBeouf, and 20th Dennis Wilder Jr. Rounding out your lead lap, and 21st is Nick Ludige. 2 cars 1 lap down are Brad Galogli, John Branciano, Jay DeBuke, Jeff Edgar. Those 4 cars 1 lap down, they're going to race for the transfer, or for the Lucky Dog, excuse me. It's not yesterday, no transfer spot. Here we come off the corner. The field is at Pedro Buenos' hands. He's going to wait for that green flag to be displayed. This time by, there will be 22 laps to go. 22 laps left to settle it. Green flag in the air. They are down and away, and it's Buenos getting a good run on the low side. Turpin on the high side is going to hang tough, though. And I said it before this race, that you got to pay attention to that 454 car. It doesn't matter how his race goes. It doesn't matter where he runs. When it is go time in an XCAL racing event, he is always going to be there. It doesn't matter if we're at a road course, we're at a short track, we're at an intermediate track, or if we go to a 2-mile track like Michigan. The dude is a wheel man, and he is always near the front. Here we go down the backstretch for the lead. The 454 on the outside of Buenos. They race for the top spot. Turpin trying to lead his first lap of the event. As they come down the backstretch, Turpin's going to have help from Ryan Soper. On the low side, it's Diego Romero Ruiz helping Pedro Buenos. And none of these guys teammates. Early in this race, we saw a lot of teammates helping each other, but with around 20 to go, and Diego gets loose. He's going to hang on, though. He's going to drive that car back up the speedway as Turpin now gets help from Soper. Caution is going to fly. Wreck must have happened behind these leaders, and it did. I see Timothy Skillman around. I see the 48 of Octavio Rondoletto, and yeah, that was Skillman. It started with the 83 of Skillman coming off of 4. It looks like Skillman got loose in front of Octavio, spun down into the 4 of Brad Galogli, and yeah, the 48 of Rondoletto also spun, gained some damage in that, was the 25 of Helmut. Looks like Octavio, though, was able to avoid any serious contact. I do believe Galogli got some pretty severe damage. As I watch his car come down pit road, yeah, that car is pretty beat up. And another quick caution here. And now this really raises the questions. There's 21 laps to go. When we go green, there's probably going to be right about 18 to go. You guys already know what I'm going to do. Let me dial up real quick. Let's see. All right, Paul Coleman, it's PDJ up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right, Paul. Fortunately, these last few laps I've had to talk to you more than both of us probably wish. But what's the strategy now, Paul? Looking at the lap count, you're going to be right on the edge if it somehow went green to the end. Well, what do you do here?
We're going to do what mostly everybody we're going to pit.
Okay, I was curious if maybe we're going to see you stay out and do some bold strategy there, but
too early.
I don't disagree. Do you think this... So I think with one caution, this definitely is your last pit stop. But green to the end is where I'm curious with 21 laps to go. Well, you're going to have 20 laps to go after this pit stop as you have issues getting into your pit stall. What are you thinking with 20 laps? You told me 18 was about your run.
I think we can do it. I'm going to, throttle it here a little bit. Like I said, I got a chance to come back down to get some gas. Last car on the lead lap. So we'll get some gas, top it off one more time, and we'll be good all the way to the end.
All right,
I'm definitely not coming in again.
All right, well, we'll let Paul focus on driving for the rest of this one, unless it's another caution. We'll talk to him during that. But once again, that's Paul Coleman, driver of the K2 number 66 machine. I guess technically 38 for this race, but usually he's number 66. And yeah, varying strategies. I will say we have had varying strategies. We did see a couple cars stay out, I believe. And here's who stayed out. The leader, Pedro Buenos, did not pit. These guys could be waiting to pit with one green. I could see that being a realistic thing too. Because if you do pit with 1 to green, I think you're pretty much hedging your odds and guaranteeing you're going to make it to the end. But we will have to see. So it's Pedro Buenos is going to be in the lead. Second's going to be Jeremy Leto. Third will be Arthur Hendren. As now we're going to see Buenos come down pit road. Leto will not. Neither will Buenos. Hendren does come down pit road. Bazin stays out. Looks like we have Jeff Edgar's going to come down. So varying strategy here. 2 cars Actually, 3 cars make that. Will have not pitted, though. And that will be Pedro Buenos, Jeremy Leto, and James Bazin. So no matter what, you're going to see those 3 cars have to come down pit road again. I'm going to take a 15-second timeout. We will be back momentarily. All right, we are back here live, and they come down the backstretch. They're going green this time by. I enjoyed my nice little 30-second time out there to get a sip of water. Your leader is going to be Buenos, second Leto, third James Bazin, fourth Luke Turpin, fifth Ryan Soper, sixth Tyler McRae, seventh Diego Ruiz, eighth Rafael Sempruch, ninth Stephen Baird, and 10th will be Aquinas LaBeouf. Like I stated earlier, the top 3 stayed out, and the only thing I can think for their strategy is that if it goes green to the end, everyone will probably have to pit, so they're probably just hedging their bets that this race goes green to the end. Not the bet I would make, but someone has to do it. Someone has to try it and see if it will work, and we will find out. Here they come down the front stretch. Green flag in the air. They are down and away, and Buenos with a good jump on the inside as Leto hangs tough on the outside. James Bazin in that pink number 8 car. That's as high as we've seen him run so far in this race. On the outside, Luke Turpin goes after him, and Ryan Soper dives underneath James Bazin. That's tight right there as Octavio Rondoletto looks to the outside. Here we go up front. Luke Turpin splitting the gap 3 wide for the top spot. He is going to make his way around Leto. Let's see if he can find his way around Buenos. Here they come down the backstretch, and it's Luke Turpin in the middle. Turpin is going to clear Buenos heading down into 3, and now he's on the inside in the top spot. Luke Turpin with a power move there. Remember, if this thing goes green to the end, they are going to be awfully close to making it on fuel, those top cars. It is going to be a matter of inches if they can make it or not. We race up front, though. It's Turpin continuing to lead. They are 3 wide for about the 5th spot. Bazin down low, Diego Romero Ruiz in the middle, and Ryan Soper up top. Good racing going on all around the speedway right now, and this time by, there is just 17 laps to go. With 17 laps to go, these drivers are starting to think, yeah, this race is like $90 to win, right? It's go time. It is go time for these drivers for certain. And Luke Turpin, as he has done so often this season, as we have a wreck behind him. Carlos Ruiz is around. One car comes back up the speedway. That's going to be a caution. Yellow flag flies, and that means that everyone should be good except for Leto and, hold on, let me get the exact numbers here. Everyone should be good except for Jeremy Leto, Pedro Buenos, and James Bazin. You probably will see these 3 cars come down pit road. We will try to see what happened with the caution there. I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I saw the 22 spinning of Carlos Ruiz. And yes, that did actually begin with Carlos Ruiz. So let's see what happened here. He was racing with Octavio Rondoletto, and it looks like Ruiz just came down a little bit into Octavio, and those 2 spun, and yeah, it was just on from there. Octavio came up the track, got into Derek Colson, who was finally back out there after many laps. No, Octavio got murdered by the 34. Let's see if that car still is running okay. Looks like he got it back going, so I think Octavio, he's beat up, but he's no worse for wear. And a few other cars involved in that one. And as we've done every caution, you already know what we're doing right here. Let me dial them up real quick. All right, Paul Coleman Jr., PDJ Zeller for hopefully the last time. You got a copy?
Yeah, well, that went my clean race.
Oh, I
had the 0x going on till that, and then unfortunately got a little piece of that. 22, man, I can't seem to, in the heat race, I was around him the whole time, and then here too, I just can't seem to have good luck around that. Maybe because I'm an Xbox guy and he's running a Nintendo car. I don't know. All
right, Paul, well, I'll tell you something that'll probably ease your mind a little bit more. You were one of 2 drivers left with 0 incident points, so you with a 4X are still doing better than most of the field right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
I could use the 80 cents or whatever, right? Whatever we get for that.
Jay DeBook somehow has just been able to avoid everything so far. He's been the Iron Man of this race, just quietly running around the back of the lead lap, kind of like you. You guys had a similar strategy going on. But here we go, Paul. 15 to go. Looks like you're going to be good to go on gas.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to be my first time not pitting and actually getting around these lap cars. So from that standpoint, I actually can probably hit the gas and go. That's part of my issue is I've been behind these lap cars each time I go into the pit. So now we can actually go for it.
Looks like you'll be restarting probably around 12th if I had to take a guess. It's go time, Paul. Any sort of strategy you got here to give me? Where are you going to be going, the high side, the low side? Maybe someone nearby you're familiar with you're going to try to follow? What's the plan here?
My goal is to try to get up to Turpin and then lock on to Turpin. And that would be the ultimate. If I could do that, however I can do that, that's my goal.
He's in the lead.
I trust Turpin.
That would that'd be pretty good if you can get up to him. But I'm gonna let you lock in. I won't bother you the rest of this race. You focus on getting up there and getting that victory. Best of luck to you, Paul.
All right. Hopefully, I can talk to you in a top 3 at least at the end of the show.
That would be ideal. All right, so we're going to let Paul go there and focus on winning this race. Worth noting, Jeremy Leto and James Bazin didn't come down pit road, and they didn't pit that last caution. I think they're just betting that this is going to be a caution fest to the end, which I guess we'll have to see. But we have 15 to go. I'm going to go take my 30-second water break. Stay tuned. You're listening to XCAL on Telesign TV. All right, we are back. Getting ready to go green flag racing with 13 laps to go. I'll run you down through your top 10, and first is Luke Turpin in the 454. Second's Jeremy Leto. Third's Tyler McRae. Fourth is Ryan Soper. Fifth is James Bazin. Sixth is Rafael Semperuch. Seventh is Clinus LaBeouf. Eighth is John Kraft. Ninth is Jose Godino. And 10th is John Schwartz. 11th is Paul Coleman, 12th is Timothy Skillman, 13th is Diego Ruiz, 14th Stephen Baird, 15th Dennis Wilder Jr., 16th Alex Gangler, 17th Larry Orn, 18th Arthur Hendren, 19th Jay DeBuke, and 20th Pedro Luis Buenos, which ends our lead lap cars. Here we go off turn 4, Turpin in the top spot. He will lead the field down to the green flag. As that iRacing Ford Mustang pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, the field is at the mercy of Luke Turpin as Jeremy Leto, that was a funky start there for Leto. Race control probably has the black flag in hand. We're going to have to see what happens here. Green flag is under, and we are down and away as Leto is going to lead at the stripe by quite a bit. Race control might have to penalize Leto there for that start. I'm not sure what he was doing there. As we wreck, we already wrecked behind him. That's probably going to be a caution. There's a wreck. I see Timothy Skillman involved. Trying to figure out what else happened there, as Skillman was in a 3-wide situation. He went around with the number 222 of Wilder, and that will not draw a caution as both those cars are sitting there wrecked right now. Wilder had a great day going, but he is just worse for wear at this point. We continue to race up front. It is Luke Turpin on the inside. On the outside, Jeremy Leto. Race control is, I don't know if they're going to penalize the 86 or not. That was close there on that start. Tyler McRae is in third, Ryan Soper fourth, John Kraft fifth. Up front, this time by the stripe, there will be just 12 more laps to go, 12 more laps to decide this one, as Jeremy Leto on that outside lane itches ahead. However, I don't think without another caution, or probably two, I just don't see Leto making it to the finish in this one. Leto continues to run that high side. He is banking on some cautions to make it on gas. If not, he is going to run out. There is no doubt in my mind that you will see that 86 car have to run out of fuel and come down pit road. For the time being, though, he's going to race back on the high side. Leto gives all he has right now to Luke Turpin. Luke Turpin and Jeremy Leto go at it side by side. Down in the corner number 3, Ryan Soper is going to jump up to the high side and give his assistance to the 86 machine of Leto. And now on the low side, Turpin and McRae continue to show the way down low with John Kraft catching up to them. Here comes the number 74 of Rafael Semperuch. Also behind them is Clinus LaBeouf. Everyone knows it's go time. Everyone's coming towards the front. Paul Coleman Jr. is in that lead pack. He's making his way towards the front. Probably going to need to watch out for that 8 car, who's going to have to make another pit stop. That 8 car is looking slow right now. maybe trying to save some gas. Up front, they continue to race hard for the top spot. Definitely not saving gas is that number 86 of Jeremy Leto. They race side by side for that top position as just Leto continues to inch ahead, but it might be all for naught because I just don't see that 86 car making it as Turpin continues to show the way around on the low side. Here comes Soper now. He jumps up top, looks to make it 3 wide. Nothing doing there yet. Soper slides back into line, and he will ride behind Leto. Off the corner this time, Leto's going to get a good run off. He will draw even with Turpin as they head down the front straightaway. This time by 10 laps to go in the XCAL 400 Likes Facebook event, and it's Jeremy Leto leading him with 10 laps to go. He's hoping to see the checkered flag, but it's going to take some help for him. They head down the backstretch into corner number 1, and Luke Turpin draws even now with that 86 car as they come off the corner. As they drive now down the back straightaway, Luke Turpin in the 454 getting all the help in the world from the 99, and Jeremy Leto comes down a little bit, makes contact with Luke. That might be what Leto needed to take the lead. He didn't mean to do it, but it might give him the top spot and give him the advantage. Here we go. Don't come down. You're not clear, Leto. He will not, and he hangs up top. Lots of help from the RS Racing cars right now. Clinus LaBeouf and Ryan Soper. They run around the corner, this time by at the stripe. Same thing as last lap. 86 of Leto's going to get a good run off the corner, and this time by at the flag stand, it will be Jeremy Leto leading with 9 laps to go. Turpin continues to lead the inside lane, and now comes the rest of the pack. Paul Coleman Jr. looks like he has pushed Diego Romero Ruiz up into the lead pack. Those 2 cars have come from nowhere. Coleman, he's been an Iron Car reporter all day. He has now found his way at the front of the field after spending most of the day in the back. Does that 66 car have anything for anyone? They come down the backstretch. Leto inches ahead once again. Ryan Soper's looking antsy. He wants to make it 3 wide. His teammate LaBeouf's going to go with him. They make it 3 wide. Leto's now in the sucker hole. They go into turn number 3 and 4. It's going to be Turpin on the low side taking the lead, and Leto all by himself in the middle, hanging on to second. Leto now will get help again from Clinus LaBeouf and Ryan Soper as we have the 22 car. Carlos will release slow on the track. That car is going to need to get it off there. This time by, they come to the flag stand. Just 8 more laps to run as they are all spread out around the racetrack right now. So we have 8 to go. There's 10 guys with their name in the hat right now. 10 guys to battle for this one. Up front is still Jeremy Leto on the high side, showing the way around the racetrack. Him and Luke Turpin have been pretty much a photo finish every time by the stripe so far. Don't forget, due to XCAL rules, if we make it to the 5 to go mark and we don't have a caution, there will be no more cautions after 5 laps to go. So whatever we get at that point is what we get. Everyone racing aggressively now as Jeremy Leto does clear the 454 of Turpin. He comes down in the line, and he now leads that inside line, leaving Clinus LaBeouf as the lone man in the outside lane. Ryan Soper with a lot of damage to the right front tries to help. Here comes Luke Turpin making it 3 wide. Turpin says, "You're not taking that lead away from me, Jeremy Leto. That's mine." And now here comes Tyler McRae. They are 4 wide as they head to the start-finish line, and it's a dead heat between all 4 of them at the stripe. It is going to be Luke Turpin by 16 one-thousandths of a second. Let's see if this works out. It will work out going into turn 1. Everyone gets it sorted out. One of the few times a 4 wide has worked this weekend. Oh no, Soper gets loose. Super hangs on to it. Here comes Paul Coleman. Coleman drives down to the inside. He makes his way to the inside of Kraft. Coleman has kept his car clean all day. Does Coleman have a shot here late in this one? Same can be said for Diego Ruiz. Those 2 make their way towards the front, battle for the lead. Leto down low, Turpin on the high side. Don't forget that Leto likely cannot make it on fuel. It just does not seem like that is meant to be for him today. Leto leads off the corner, and he is still racing like he can, though. Maybe he knows something I don't. This time by at the flag stand. 6 more laps to go. Tyler McRae draws right up to the bumper of that 86 car. Luke Turpin on the high side draws even, and that time at the stripe, it was Jeremy Leto by 1/1000th of a second. 6 laps to go. Luke Turpin on the high side with help now from John Kraft in the 66, and a whole mess of race cars behind him. Like I said, 10 guys left to do the dance here for the win. 10 guys left to go. They are 3 wide for the top spot. Turpin up top, Leto in the middle, and it's going to be McRae below the white line. They need to sort this out quickly or it's just not going to end well, and McRae is going to slide back in behind Leto. McRae slides back in behind Leto now as Leto's underneath Turpin for the top spot. This time by at the flag stand, it'll be 5 to go, which means no more yellows. Paul Coleman now drives his way into the top 5. Coleman throws his hat in the ring. Coleman's going to try to find his way near the front as they go 3 wide for the top spot again. It's Leto on the outside, McRae on the bottom, and Turpin on the high side. Here comes Coleman up the middle now. He races side by side with Tyler McRae as, Coleman's going to get wrecked into the wall. Him and Diego Ruiz wrecked. No more cautions. Coleman needs to get that car off the track, and that is it for the 66 and 38. Still, we have about 7 cars up front racing for the win. It's Leto on the inside. On the high side, Luke Turpin. Unfortunate break there for our in-car reporter, but sometimes that is just your luck in racing. On the high side, Luke Turpin shows the fast way around the racetrack. John Kraft giving him all the help in the world right now. We have 7 guys left to duel for the win in this one. 7 guys left to do the dance. Let's see how this one ends up going. Keep an eye on those 2 cars hanging back a little bit. Sempruch and Schwartz. Will they get a good run here at the end, and will those 2 maybe miss a big wreck that could occur? Here they come, 4 laps to go, this time by at the flag stand. It was Luke Turpin on the high side leading that time by. Leto on the inside doing a good job of keeping that car going. He has to be nearing the end of his fuel window. I don't think that 86 car has many more laps in him. He bangs with Luke Turpin. Does the 86 of Leto have enough to make it to the end? Here we go to the inside goes McRae. McRae makes it 3 wide below the white line. Will Leto let him get back up onto the racing surface? Will McRae have to force himself? They head down the back straightaway, and now he comes back up. They're going to beat. They're going to bang. They all keep it going, and Leto tries to force the 99 car down below, but McRae says, no, thank you. I'm taking the lead. McRae takes the top spot, and Leto's going to wreck. Turpin wrecks too. It's a 5-car battle now, as Sempruch has to go in the grass and misses it. That ruins his chances. Now it's a 5-car duel for the top spot. We have left to race it out for the win. It's Tyler McRae, the 66 of John Kraft, the 84 of Ryan Soper, Quintus LaBeouf, and waiting in the wings, the 24 of John Schwartz. $90 on the line. You're going to see these guys start to do some antsy things. 3 laps to go, this time by. On the high side, John Kraft continues to ride that high line. Down low, it's Tyler McRae after making a daring move, taking his way to the lead. It will all be for naught because John Kraft leads him going down the backstretch. Here we go. They're going to go around the lap car of Paul Coleman, who'll keep that car down there respectfully. And Kraft shows the fast way around. Now Ryan Soper's the first car on the high side. Soper has his teammate. That's the one benefit that no one else in the Sleep Pack has, is that Soper has a teammate in Quintus LaBeouf to help push him. LaBeouf gets up on that bumper. You see Soper put the glove up. He says, come on, buddy, give me a shove. There they go. 2 laps to go this time by. Popsicle sticks in the air, and they're going to be all single file for the first time in a while. Don't expect that to last long. Here we go through the corner, and it's still John Kraft showing the way around. He's going to have to make that car wide to keep everyone behind him. Kraft, they go down the backstretch. Kraft going to show a little bit of a block there. Soper pulls up to the high side. He shows a block to the high side, now leaves the door open for McRae, and now they are 3 wide for the top spot. 3 wide for the top spot as they come to the white flag. 4 wide for the top spot as they come to the white flag between 5 of them. Schwartz has caught the lead pack. He is the man that could steal this race. They come off the corner, and McRae and Kraft get into each other. They're going to wreck. They can spin out. It's a 3-horse race for the win. Up front, it's the 2 teammates, Quintus LaBeouf and Ryan Soper racing out, and John Schwartz with the shot. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Will one of the RS Racing guys win it, or will it be the number 28 of John Schwartz stealing this race? Schwartz waits in the wings. He gets a good run off the corner. It's going to be Quintus LaBeouf showing the way. He's going to throw a block on his teammate Soper, but Soper's going to draw up to the high side. Where does Schwartz go? This could determine who wins the race. Does Schwartz jump to the outside? Does he jump to the inside, or does he go to the middle? Here they come to corner number 3 for the last time. It's Soper and LaBeouf racing for the win here for $90. Schwartz goes to the outside. He's going to try to get a good run off the corner. Schwartz cuts it down the racetrack. And it's the 2 guys racing in front of him that we're going to focus on. LaBeouf on the inside, Soper on the outside. Does Soper have anything left in the tank for LaBeouf? They come to the start-finish line, and it is going to be a photo finish. Here comes the 24 to the inside, but Quintus LaBeouf is going to win it by 51 thousandths of a second over his teammate Ryan Soper. Third's going to be John Schwartz. Fourth's going to be John Kraft. Fifth is going to be Luke Turpin. And 6th is going to be Stephen Baird. Raphael Sempruch will be 6th. 7th will be Stephen Baird. 8th will be Alex Gangler. 9th will be Arthur Hendren. And 10th will be Jose Godino. As this one was just a race of epic proportions there at the end. Me oh my, what a fun race we got to witness there. And I'm going to catch my breath for a minute, and we're going to get a word here with the top 3. taking a moment there to catch my breath, as what an epic finish that was to that race. It was a race of attrition. We had about 9 guys racing for the win, and then another one bit the dust, another one bit the dust, and they just kept dropping like flies there. As John Schwartz pulls that car off, and we are going to await for him to get in the Discord. He'll be the first guy I want to catch for a quick interview. It looks like we had about 34 cars still running at the finish there, so nothing to bat an eye at. That was a good, strong run for a lot of guys. Waiting to see Schwartz pop up in the Discord server. While we wait for that, Paul, tell us what you saw from your perspective.
I gotta go look at the replay. My God, that was the time of my life. I was moving. I almost got to Turpin's butt. That was my goal. I was almost there. And then all of a sudden I got turned in the wall and I don't know, finished 16th.
I have to give it to you, Paul. I thought you had a chance there. You were just driving through the field. I'm like, man, Paul might really actually make this work. But here we go. Finally got our third place finisher, Jonathan Schwartz. John, you can unmute your mic if you want. We're up here with our third place finisher. And John, I'll tell you, I watched you there on those last 10 laps, and you're kind of just hanging back of that lead pack. And you slowly started reeling them in. They kept dropping one by one by one. And then coming to the white flag, you were sitting in third. What was the plan there? Were you thinking of a move you wanted to make in your mind?
Yeah, it was a very difficult race throughout the whole 100 laps. I mean, I used to treat it as an endurance race, and so I was just hanging back there for the first 50 laps, and just hopefully by the end of the race there, like you said, I was just hanging near the front of the pack. That way, in case there was a wreck, I'd be able to avoid it, but also that way I could stay up there. That way I could take a chance to at least get the win there. So yeah, that final lap, those guys were side by side. I was hoping I could get a run off the final corner going on the high side. I wasn't really able to manage it, but I'm still really happy. I'm stoked with the third place.
All right, John. Well, I got to ask you, coming to the line, you got a heck of a run. You drop down low. Obviously, Klein is through the block, as I'm sure any driver would coming to the finish line in a race like that. But what did you think that run, you might have had enough of a run there if he wouldn't have thrown the block to get him there? Or do you think it was just a little bit too late?
I think I knew it was a little bit too late as I exited 4. I just saw the lap cars coming in the way, and I was trying to time which line would be best in case they did get in the way, and I guess I just misjudged it a bit too late. I guess I could have tried perhaps going for a run in the end of 1 and 2, but those guys were side by side, and the fact that there was a few wrecks before when guys were side by side, I'd rather take a third place than get spun near the end of the race there.
All right, John. Well, before I let you go, celebrate a good run with your crew. Who do you got to thank for sponsors, crews, and teammate, or anyone like that?
I'll definitely thank iRacing. They're the main sponsor on the car, and also main team I'm in on GT Sport is the PX7, so Phoenix 7 Sim Racing. I got to thank them just for helping me improve sim racing pace and all that.
All right, well, congratulations to you on a good run. I'm going to go catch up with our second place finisher now of Ryan Soper, as we're going to drag Soper here into the channel. And we're down here with the second place finisher for tonight's race, Ryan Soper. Ryan, I got to ask you, on that last lap, you were racing side by side with your teammate. What was the strategy there? Were you trying to make a move to win the race, or was it more or less just preventing the 24 from ruining the 1-2 finish for you guys?
Oh, I was trying to win that race, no doubt. But I thank Kleinist. He's like an awesome teammate. And I want to thank RS Racing. Oh, wait, I own that. And subscribe to RS Fastlane 11 if you haven't. And yeah, RS Racing first and second.
Well, Soper, what was the plan there then? You said you were trying to win the race. So on the last lap, coming out of 4, what was your idea? Like, what was the move that you wanted to make to get by Kleinist?
I thought the 24 was going to push me.
Yeah,
I was trying to side draft.
He decided to make his own move there. But Soper, before I let you go, you can thank any sponsors and crew you'd like to thank that you haven't already.
I don't have sponsors, but if you want to sponsor me, I'm open, baby.
All right, that was your second place finisher, Ryan Soper. And now we are going to catch up with the race winner of Kleinist LaBeouf. We're down here in Victory Lane. The champagne's flying all around. The big $90 paycheck is being handed to Kleinist. And Kleinist, I got to ask you, man, you ran a lot of this race near the front of the pack, and was that kind of just your strategy today? Keep the car out front, and hopefully it ends that way?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. That's usually how I race. I usually like to stay up in the front and kind of, control the race in a sense. Know what's going on, because that mid-pack, it's sketchy. In the rear, you're in La La Land. There's nothing you can do back there. But wow, coming into this night, I could have never expected that. Wow.
Well, what were you thinking coming to the white flag? Obviously, you saw a lot of the leaders wreck, but was it a pleasant sight for you to see that one of the 2 cars with you was your teammate Ryan Soper in the mirror?
I don't know what the right answer would be, because I don't want to make him mad, but it's like I saw them wreck. I'm like, yes, less I have to, go up against. And then I saw Ryan there, and I'm just, might not have the best meeting tomorrow if something goes wrong. But we came to the line. I guess he thought it was a race winner, so he goes, "Let me win, Gladys, let me win." I'm thinking to myself, yeah, nah, that's not gonna happen. That ain't how I play.
So what'd you think, Klein, is coming out of 4? Obviously, Soper got a good run on you, so did the 24. In your head, did you think you had him at the stripe, or were you just thinking, man, I need to block 3 lanes at once?
Coming out of 4, I kind of knew I had him. If anything, it'd be closer, but I knew I was just worried about that 3rd place car, because he came out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, hi, how you doing? So, whew.
All right, Klinus, well, before I let you go celebrate more with your teammates, who do you want to thank? Any sponsor, crew, and teammates you'd like to give a shout-out to here in Victory Lane?
I definitely like to give a big thanks to my dad for helping me put all this racing stuff together. I want to thank my mom for actually letting me study a little bit less, so that way I can actually come race. I want to thank DeWalt, which is my sponsor on the car. I want to thank Tanner for making the paint scheme. I want to thank you and Tanner for putting out the broadcast, and XCAL Racing for putting on an amazing show.
All right, well, that was your race winner tonight, Klinus. Go live it up, buddy, and celebrate. And that'll wrap things up here from Victory Lane. And, yeah, that was a heck of a race for XCAL Racing, I'll tell you that. There was a lot of good racing going on, a lot of exciting action throughout it, and I'd rate that one pretty high. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that one. Well, that'll wrap things up here in the booth. On behalf of our in-car reporter, Paul Coleman Jr., thank you for everything tonight. On behalf of Telesign TV, Tanner Caitlin, an excellent job as you do always. And on behalf of XCAL Racing, thank you to Aaron Hillbush and all the boys over there who make it possible. My name's PDJ Zeller, and we will see you next week from Southern National Motorsports Park.